Hello, everyone. Hey, Ed. How you doing? Hi, Tim. Uh, I'm just here to make sure. I almost forgot I was doing a live stream. I was thinking it was Sunday for some reason. But let me get this here going so we can get everybody up that wants to come up. So. And all right, there we go. So, welcome everybody. It was a rainy day here today, so it was a little cooler than what it had been. I don't think it got above 72 today. It's down around 70 right now, maybe lower. And hey, Jerry, how you doing, sir? I got yeah, I heard that Leonard went missing. We can't find him. So hopefully he'll pop in soon. And well, so just trying to tell everybody hi. And we'll keep this going. All right. Hey, Dan, how you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Still haven't heard anything about Leonard.
Yeah, I was so here's what who I've been chatting with. So uh I've been chatting with Dee Oliveris online or through Messenger, and she's telling me that he fell and it took 4 hours for help to get there and help him. I don't know all the details. She probably has limited details herself, but she hasn't
Okay.
been in. She's as worried as everybody else is because, of course, if you go into Messenger, you'll see his open line, and of course, he's not responding to anybody. So I hope he's okay. But Dee's beside herself, just like the rest of us, trying to figure out what may have happened after that point in which she lost contact with him.
All right. I'm glad to hear that he's got help anyway. I'm sorry to hear it took so long, but how's your day going? I forgot. I did. I sat down and was eating, and I forgot that it was Saturday. I thinking, well, I got plenty of time. I'll go join Dan here in a minute. I was thinking Sunday, and then I came in there. It's like, oh no, Larry, today's Saturday. It's your turn.
Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm wearing my headset today.
Yeah, I
So
noticed that you got the headset with the mic down by the mouth.
yeah, does it sound better than the mic?
It sounds pretty good.
Okay. It's a cheapie. I went down to the electronics store and I grabbed a cheapie real quick. It seems to be doing okay.
That's good. Well, like I said, sometimes that's all it takes. And hey, Sammy, how you doing? And so I'm just trying to.
Good morning, Sammy. Is it raining where you are? Oh man,
But
instant coffee this morning.
Pennsylvania trucker, I've seen him around quite a few times, but it's the first time I think he's been in my live stream. But I went ahead and gave him a
Welcome,
monitor.
welcome, Pennsylvania trucker. I'm getting better, Tim. I'm getting better every day. I am making progress. Only problem is, every once in a while I have to bark. Yeah,
Sorry to hear
especially
that,
at
Jerry.
night. I howl at the moon.
I howl at the moon, but it's not because I'm sick. I'm just a dog.
Hey, Sammy says there's no rain where Sammy is at. I think Sammy is in Negros Oriental, and so
Well,
you guys don't know. I'm geographically challenged, and so I was looking at a map the other day. I'm saying, well, where the hell is this Negros Oriental anyway? And I realized that Cebu, if you like drive 6.5 hours due west, you're going to run into Negros Oriental, and so I'm close. I'm not that far. So uh, I'm going to have to spend 15 minutes, and I'm going to have to take a look up at a map, to see exactly where I'm at. I mean, it's really ridiculous that I don't know.
well, you know, I'll tell you the truth. I've been living out here in New York, and there's a lot of places I don't know.
Well, New York is actually a very huge and very beautiful state.
Yeah, but
I mean, you head north through the
yeah,
Adirondacks and
I've been up to Lake George, which is in the
Lake
Adirondacks.
George. Hey, you know what I remember about Lake George? What I remember about Lake George was that the church. What do they call it? That old ancient church that was built by that order of the Catholics.
I've not
Yeah,
been to the church there. I've only been up there.
yeah.
Uh,
What
both
do they
times
call
I've
it?
been up there was during the Americade where they had the motorcycle rally up there,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was up there. Oh shoot, probably 6, 7 years ago, maybe even longer. I went up there with some friends, and I didn't know what was going on. And that's the first time I ever seen a Can-Am Spider. That's the trike with the two wheels in front and the
Oh,
one
I
wheel
love
in the
that
back.
thing. I want one.
But anyway, that's the first time I saw one up close and personal. I've
Yeah.
seen them advertised and on TV. And I've seen somebody drive by with one, but I never walked up and looked at one
Oh, but
until
you know what? You know the difference between the Spider and the touring bike, though. You see, the thing is, you need if I were to buy one, right? I can't get away with just having the Spider, the sports model. I got to have the full touring package, bells and whistles, and the whole thing. And that is a very expensive machine.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the gold when you just to call it. Now this has been a few years back, and I'm talking probably 20 years ago. Just enough to call it a gold wing was 10 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, the gold wing has a reverse. Uh, what it is when the bike is started, you put it in neutral, and the starter will back the bike up like 1 mile an hour, so you can get out of your parking space, or you can back up on a slight incline. It will still do that 1 mile an hour to help you out.
The Lake George Monastery is what I was talking about.
Like
So
I said, I've only been downtown, which is actually quite gorgeous, and
I'm
I've
telling
walked
you.
around that area, but I've not gone anywhere else. But on my way home, I noticed they have an A&W root beer a little bit outside of Lake George. It's not in Lake George. And one of these times I'm going to have to go up. And we got Jerry coming up with the chickens.
Oh, good. That's
Well,
great.
The cat right now.
yeah, the chicken
Oh, the cat.
there.
There we
Yeah, the
go.
the cats the cats moving in on their action.
Yeah.
But they're
So how
not
you
natural
doing, Jerry?
predators, right? Jerry.
What was
Cats
that?
and cats and chickens are not they're not natural predators. They get along, right?
Or this one's eat cat food. They'll kill a bird every now and then, but not the chickens here.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
Jim, that 10 gram was for a. I think there were only like 1,100 size at that time, and that was at least 20, probably closer to 25 years ago. And that's not having the uh, everything, all the bells you can get on the bike. And now they got what 1,500 or 1,600 cc's. They're water cooled. You can get a trailer. The trailer can also have a sleeper.
Too
I mean,
cool.
you can spend a lot of money on a Goldwing if you want everything. ET, how you doing? And but
Yeah, Dodger Blue. Yeah, we'll give him your best. I'm sure that we're going to hear from him sooner rather than later.
yeah, but like oh,
Maybe
to
they.
let you guys know that don't come in my stream very often. If you want, come on up. We'll talk with you for a little bit. No problem. Uh, Jerry only comes up once in a while. He usually doesn't stay real long because, well, he's an early to bed person.
Well, he needs his beauty rest.
Yeah,
I feel like
well,
a birding.
I know. Like I said, my sister, my youngest sister's the same way. She
Yep.
likes to go to bed early. She likes to get 8 hours of sleep, and then she gets up. Uh, she works out. All right, Sammy. Sammy
Yeah, but
says she's going to be in the background.
All right, Sammy. We'll see you later. I see you
She's
working with some lumber.
She's finishing my second
Hey.
table today.
Sammy, how should I say this? I see that you've been working with some lumber, not the kind of lumber that we're usually referring to, though.
It's not the kind of lumber you slumber with.
Exactly. It's not the kind of
Hey,
lumber you
Crystal.
slumber with.
How you doing, Crystal?
Crystal's here.
Yeah.
Crystal's adventure. Yeah, Crystal, she's been holding out. You know, she has a nice life in Pangasinan. Yep, indeed. I mean, the houses. Did you guys see one of my videos where I slowed it down and showed you those rich and famous houses that we were driving by? I mean, I didn't even show you. By the time I caught on that the rich and famous live there, you know, all
right,
kinds
we
of
got Jack
expats
coming
with
in the
money.
stream. Hello, Jack.
Jack Hobson is here.
How
Jack,
doing,
you have
man?
your morning.
Good that you were able to make it.
Do you have your morning libation? I got mine.
Just woke up a little bit ago. I had about maybe hour and a half nap.
Well, my morning libation is coffee.
To each his own. You know, coffee is as addictive as anything that I've got. Oh,
you're
Nescafe.
right. Well, is that
Hey,
is that
you
the
and I
3 in
both.
1, or is that just a plain black?
I think that's the 3-in-1.
It's the plain black.
I'm drinking the same thing this morning, Jack. Can you believe it?
I'm going to tell you something, Dan. The plain black is better for you.
Okay, well, I know. I kind of guessed that.
Especially like for me, being a diabetic, if you put cream and sugar in there, then you're adding carbohydrates. The cream would be the less offensive of the two. But the sugar would add carbohydrates to your diet, which I don't need. And
Hey, by the way, that new
sugar long before that.
I meant to ask you. You're kind of reminding me of something. I meant to ask you this yesterday. Have you been dropping any pounds off of that new medication you've been taking?
I'm going to have to get weighed at the same place I was before.
Yeah.
I'll probably try to do that this week, and I'll put up a short on that.
Oh, okay. I'm curious because I've been reading all kind of things.
I think, dropped some inches, but I don't know about pounds.
That drug that you're taking, I can't think of the name of it. Right? Everybody
or Vitex or something like
everybody's
that.
going to their doctor and they're asking for that drug.
Yeah.
What is it? The Ozempic?
It can't hurt.
Vitex. But see, now there's supposed to be 2 different types. It's the same drug, but
they say there's a shortage of it now because all the housewives of New York are going into their doctors.
Well, not just New York. Not just New York.
Yeah.
You got a lot of celebrities. What it is, there's supposed to be 2 different, the same drug, but 2 different prescriptions. One's for the weight loss, for people that want to take it for weight loss, and the other's for people like me. But what happens is there's such a shortage for the one that people want it for weight loss because everybody's wanting it.
Yeah.
You have some doctors getting the other and double prescribing it so people can take a stronger dose and which is hurting for the people like myself so they say, you got to order it a little early in case there's a shortage. So it might take a little longer to get to you. But right
Wow.
now I got a month of supply ahead. So once I use up this month, I'll order it again, and that'll keep me ahead.
I thought they inject that. Don't they inject that?
Yeah, you inject it.
Ah.
You get this little pin, and you dial up how much you're supposed to put in, like
Yep.
0.25 or 0.5, and then you stick it in your stomach. You push the button, and you can hear the thing go around as it empties the needle. And you watch it till it hits 0, and then you hold it just a couple seconds after that. You pull it out, take the needle off, put the needle in a sharp container, because you inject yourself with a new needle every time. And when I get a pin, it's only good. It only gives you enough for 1 month at 0.5, which is what my prescription is. So I get enough to take 1 month's worth, and like I said, that I have to get another prescription. But when I went in last time, even though I hadn't took the first shot out of this new prescription. It was the next day I was taking it. She went ahead and ordered my next one, and I've already got it. So, like I said, I got about a month in advance.
Well,
so, they were talking
man,
about how people.
Minnie and I went over to the DHL.
To be.
We went over to the DHL yesterday to use the scales, the shipping scales. And I have not lost. I'm holding at exactly 200 pounds.
Like I said, I may not
The
have
day I
lost
walked in the
anything,
place
we'll
in the
find out.
Philippines, I'm still at 200 pounds.
The thing that hurt me the last couple of weeks, I haven't walked much. Because when I was home, I didn't do hardly any walking when I was back home. And I got to get back into it. Today it rained, so I didn't walk a whole lot today.
I walk about as far as it takes to grab a beer out of the refrigerator. That's good exercise.
Well, as long as I sit in the bedroom, that's a decent little walk. I sat in the living room, it's no walk at all.
But Crystals, do I look like I'm in that bad a shape? Crystals, tell the truth. Tell me the truth, Crystals. See, the thing is, I know I'm already the incredible shrinking man, in more ways than one. I mean, I used to think gravity was a good thing. Gravity is fighting you, wanting to pull you down into the earth.
Well, that's what
You're saying, no, I don't want to go. It's not my time yet. And gravity is like pulling you in.
Well, have you ever seen that exercise equipment where you hang upside down?
I like the inverter. Is that what that thing
help stretch your back out?
Yeah,
gravity pulls you back down.
Hey, you know what I'm reading about that thing? It does a lot of other health benefits too. I'm thinking about getting me one and hanging myself upside down for a few hours a day. What the heck is wrong with that?
I would make sure you didn't hang yourself upside down without somebody around to get you right side back up.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you have to have somebody hanging around to help you out.
I'd be afraid that I wouldn't be able to get myself back up the way I was supposed to be, and
Did you see, Tim? I just delivered the line to Tim, and of course, Tim, you deliver a straight line to Tim, and he's got to run with it every time.
Oh yeah, he'll hit it out of the park.
That's right, he does all the time. Yep, round is a shape.
Round is a shape. Good morning, Larice. The most eligible bachelorette.
Larice is in the house. Also met Larice. It's I think it's a good thing to meet people that subscribe to your YouTube channel, that are supporters. I think it's a really, really good thing. But I'm shy, and I'm sure Larice, she can feel me on this. I'm shy about having, what do they call these things? Meetups. I really don't want to. I don't really want to take it that far. I like meeting people individually in their own environment, but I kind of don't really want to take it that far, where we have some kind of a meet and greet, something like that. I'm too shy for that.
Well, remember now you're the superstar. They're going to show up for the meet and greet there, buddy.
I'm starting to get a sense of successful YouTubers' personality profile and what they have in common. And what I'm discovering is there's a possibility that most of us have been slightly introverted in our prior lives.
Well, the only time I was an introvert when I was a kid, when I first met you, I was very shy around strangers until I got to know them. And once I got to know them, I was a ham, and it was hard to get me to shut up.
I mean, isn't it amazing how when we all started, we all went through the same thing, very, very shy and uncomfortable and not knowing what to talk about online. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, once we get comfortable with each other, the whole thing just starts to take off.
Well, like I said in my first video, the reason I did the first video, people kept saying, "How come you use Lazy Larry?" And so I explained how I got the nickname and why I used it. And it turned out I enjoyed it, but I was just doing talking head videos at first. I wasn't interacting with anybody else. And then I started going into the panel on a few. Then I decided I kind of liked that, so I did my own.
Hey, by the way, do you know how fast YouTube is growing as a platform, as a medium? It is growing so large. Even I mean, the global cataclysm, the global event, had a lot to do with its success during that period of time. And I had the expectation things were going to slow down in YouTube, right? I said, oh, okay, the platform is going to be challenged, but it is absolutely exploding in growth. It's amazing. People are 6 out of 10 people now get their entertainment value from YouTube versus watching commercial television. That's amazing.
I think so. I think they're still watching commercial television, but they're being much more selective because they got YouTube. So in other words, if you see a show, yeah, I really like that because I happen to like Star Trek shows. I watch them.
It's a lonely road, Tim. It's a lonely road.
But if I see a show they're saying, and it's like, that sounds kind of corny, I'll go to YouTube instead.
I mean, I was watching documentaries. Last night we watched one that was a documentary on Manila and how the people that live in the cemeteries. It was so friggin' interesting. They put the full documentary up there. Yeah. And then after that, I was able to watch one that talks about how the U.S. is sliding towards Marxism. I think the documentary was called The Awakening. Fascinating stuff. I mean, just amazing information.
Well, you can see that some of the people that are in the news media and some of the educators in the higher education, that's what they want. They want Marxism.
Yeah, but you know what? In order to make that come to fruition, here's what I think the deal killer is. Yes, I see us sliding towards it, but you need a young population of kids in order to develop it. And in the United States, we're not having kids. And check this out. Even the immigrants coming here ain't having kids. That's scary. And so now when you don't have people that are having children and you have this die off of population, 80 million gone from the planet in 10 years, well, it's very, very difficult to go into the schools and then train them or re-educate them, educate them in the belief system. It's not like it was when it was Kidsville, USA, between 1955 and 19.
When we were kids.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Duck under the desk. What good was that going to do you?
Do you remember that? Do you remember that? I mean, that whole thing, it was traumatizing for me as a kid I mean, a lot of people don't know what they used to do to us.
Yeah.
We used to be in kindergarten class, and they would say it's time for us to slide under our desk, get away from the windows, and kiss our sweet ass goodbye, because the Russians or the Cubans or somebody are going to be dropping a nuclear bomb on your stupid ass.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah, the
can
Cold
you
War,
imagine being a little
especially back
kid?
in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
have the Business Insider writing a stupid article saying that you could survive a nuclear attack. Are you crazy? How are you going to do that? How are you going to escape a nuclear bomb that lands on top of you in Los Angeles? Tell me how you're going to do that.
Well, hey, if it lands 10 miles from you, you're not going to escape it. You may live, but you're not going to escape it. It's going to kill
You'll
you.
live for a minute or two. You'll live until you're irradiated, and
That's
and
what I
then you're going
said.
to,
You know, it's
you
going
know.
to kill you. I forget what the radiation death is. I mean, but there's a certain area you'll be outside of that area, and it'll be a slow death. You'll have the
Hello,
radiation
Tim.
that'll kill you, but it won't be.
Tim, no, it won't. I don't think that's going to be the case, Tim. They're just gonna print money. They'll create digital money.
Yeah.
They'll
The
just
one of the things
create
they
it.
taught us as a kid was drop, and roll. For if you catch on fire, stop, drop,
dropping.
and roll. You know. Well, that's it. That's the truth. I mean, because if you run, you're just flaming you're just feeding the flames. But if you stop, you drop down and roll until you put the flames out. It's much safer for you.
I wish Mike were here, because as part of this documentary, if Mike, married to a beautiful woman, were here, I would like to ask him questions about, did it really happen that when the truckers protested in Canada, did they actually, once they identify them, freeze their bank accounts? I would like to know that, to see if that's true or not.
I know that's what some people were claiming. I know that.
Because if they froze their bank accounts, and then you'd have to go in, you have to sign a paper saying, I will not protest against the government and blah, 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 blah. And then they would unfreeze it. Something like that. But anyway, under threat of being thrown in jail if you violated the terms of your agreement. I mean, what is that called anyway when they can do that? I mean, that's what I've been talking about this for the longest
Government
time.
overreach.
Yeah. Well,
That's what it
you're
is. It's
thinking it
government
can't.
overreach.
Can it happen here, Larry? That's
Oh
the
yeah,
question.
the government can overreach anywhere, whether or not it's legal. That's what makes it an overreach. It's not legal. And we just lost.
Wait, what happened? Who'd we lose?
I don't-
Chickens. We lost the chickens.
we lost Jerry. I don't know what happened. I didn't take
You
him
know-
out.
So we're not having kids. So that means that it has a domino effect. So social service programs, there'll be less of a need for workers in that field, because they won't be sending out so much money, not like they are now.
I'm surprised
Families
Ed
are-
hasn't come up.
I think we said something like last time that something like American households were comprised of 3 points something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was-
kids. Yeah.
yeah, they're small, but
And then he was saying in this documentary that the tiny house movement basically was just to get everybody used to the idea of living with less, in less space and that sort of thing. How big is your
I'm
apartment?
going to tell you.
How big is your apartment, Larry? I'm curious.
I
many
don't know
square
how many
feet?
square feet it is. I'd have to ask. I've never.
What's
It's
your
bigger
guess?
In some ways, it's bigger than my last one. In other ways, it's smaller. My bedroom's smaller.
Yeah.
My kitchen and bathroom both are smaller. But my living
Is
room,
it bigger? Is
dining
it
room
bigger
area,
than 700 square feet?
I have no clue. Probably, but I have no clue.
Ma'am, Minnie and I, we're living in less than 22 square meters. It's less than 100. It's
My
less than
bedroom,
100 square
Like I
feet.
said, my bedroom, I have a queen size bed. My Chester drawers, my computer desk, a file cabinet. This back here. I'd say probably bigger than that. But like I said, I'll tell you how small my bathroom is. I can sit on the stool, lean forward, and turn on and off my bathroom light.
Hey, we can count on Jack for the sound effects.
There you go. But yeah, I really, my bathroom is very small. My kitchen.
Jack, give us the sound effects. Walking down the stairs. Yeah.
That's all right, Jack. It adds to the ambiance.
Yeah,
Of
exactly.
this live stream.
Some people can't hear me talk, but they can hear me walk down the stairs.
All right, Jerry, you have a good night. Says
It's always nice to see the chickens, Jerry. Really appreciate that.
Host, co-host, and all getting ready for bedtime. Already late here, 7:30 p.m. So he says, "Ain't great." Cat, or however you pronounce that. But yeah, overall, my apartments are probably about the same size as my last one. Maybe a little larger. My kitchen's actually a little bigger than my last one. My bedroom's smaller, and so is my bathroom. But my living room's bigger. I have a bigger storage area.
So you know what happens to me. So check this out. So, man, Minnie, it's been about a year. Been about a year now. We've been traveling abroad. We closed out our lease on our apartment. So I wasn't expecting to get a refund on that security deposit. It wasn't a very large security deposit to begin with. By the way, I'm not expecting to get a refund on this security deposit that I put up here either in the Philippines. But Jack, am I on the right track? I probably won't see it again.
I didn't get my deposit back from my last apartment, but I didn't
Came back
deserve it
home.
back.
Well, here's is a year later, right? All of a sudden, this check shows up in the mail, dated 8 months ago for the security deposit, the full amount. And so I can't cash it because the check is only good for 180 days.
Yeah.
So
Now, Tim
it's a
says,
dead-
Ben,
it's a
you're
dead
in a
check.
236 square feet place.
Who is?
Tim says you're in a 236 square feet.
That's how much 22 square meters is, Tim? All right. I thought it was less than 100 square feet. But yeah, now that I look around, yeah, it's double that. Easily.
Like I said,
Okay.
My place is bigger
So that's
than what
proof.
you're in.
I'm very comfortable. Man, Mindy and I were very comfortable here. Of course, if she wants privacy, talking to one of her friends, gossiping about boys and stuff, she ends up going into the CR and closing the door. Yeah.
Well, like I
Jack
said,
looks like he has a much larger place there.
Yeah, Jack has a bigger place than I got. I'll tell you that right now from the looks of it.
Yeah, Jack looks like he lives in a mansion.
Jack, you got that upstairs. That has to add quite a bit of square footage to your place.
3 bedrooms and 2 CRs upstairs, full showers, and there's 1 full bath down here and 1 bedroom down here.
Now, so said
But
you're
I
in a
don't know
much bigger
I don't know
place.
the square footage. I have no idea what the square footage and square meter is. I have no idea.
And Tim says security deposit refund doesn't exist in the Philippines.
Yeah, so when they go first month and last 2,
Yeah.
you could kiss those last 2 goodbye. You ain't never gonna see them.
Well, no, you go ahead and stay in the last 2 and just don't pay them.
They'll bounce you way before then. Let me tell you, if you don't know how the Philippines works, all of a sudden Guido shows up at your doorstep, and with his friends. That's how evictions take place here.
Door.
This is how evictions take place here. They show up with the local police officer, the local constable.
Well, like I said, make sure you have a your lease agreement approved by a lawyer.
The security deposit tell you what, you know,
Like I said, if I lose
it's
a
all in
security
black and
deposit,
white in the contract, but the contract, if you're a foreigner and you're signing some kind of an agreement, it means absolutely nothing.
well, not if
Mhm.
it's written up and signed by both parties with witnesses. But what I would
Mhm.
do,
Oh,
like I said,
this
I
is
don't mind losing the deposit, but I want I'm going to stay there that whole year. I mean, if they take my deposit, that's one thing because, like you
yeah.
said,
So
figure that's cost of business.
yeah, and so what I'm thinking is, in a way, it's a trick. In a way, it's a trick to get you to extend your or renew your lease. It's kind of like a trick because
Yep.
what'll end up happening is once this lease that I have expires in October, come November 1st, they'll say, "Would you like to renew your lease?" See, and they'll try and roll you over for another 12 months. All right, so you know, I kind of see it. It isn't a ton of money. It isn't a ton of money, but it's it's something that irritates me when I think about it. You know?
Well, yeah, I can understand that. Like I said,
Yeah.
though, if you're where you're located at, if I enjoyed it as much as I think I would, if I like the room itself that a lot, that I would probably just go ahead and renew. Uh, but like I said, you don't know if you're going to like it, that location or that room unless you're there.
Well,
Mhm.
I actually want to move up to a
You know, you
one
want a bigger one.
bedroom.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you know what they want? I mean, the move up to one bedroom. I mean, you're moving from three to $500 a month American money. No, it's not that much. At 56 to 1 or 55 to 1, it's probably more like 250, 260 up to 450, something like that.
well, like I said, I'm single, so it's different. Uh, that because, like I said, I have all the privacy I want because I'm single. I don't have to worry about it.
It's
Whereas,
not about privacy, it's about space.
yeah, but there's
Having
two
more
of you.
space,
All right, there's two of you.
having a bedroom where that you could put all your junk that when people come over they don't have to see all your junk scattered in your studio apartment.
You,
I got curtains right here blocking off some of that. See?
what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, though, with one
Yeah,
person,
Jack, you know what I'm talking about, Jack?
but
Yes,
Dan, what I'm
sir.
saying is, that with the one person compared to two, you take up less space. You
Yeah.
got less junk because there's only just your junk. Uh,
Mhm.
so there,
I do like it from this perspective. I'm not hauling anything back when we go to bye at the end of the month this time around.
well, I don't blame
None
you
of the
for not,
stuff here is going home. It's
but
staying right here. I don't have to
well,
haul a heavy backpack.
I can't blame you. I mean, especially if you're going back and forth a lot.
Yeah.
Why haul it all?
The
Haul
stuff
only what you
that
need.
we need is already here. Have all the clothes I need here. And so, you know, it's
Hey,
all
Mac
done.
Daddy's coming up.
Oh, right.
Hey, Mac Daddy, how you
What's up?
doing?
My brothers, how you doing?
Well,
Good.
I can't find Leonard.
uh-oh. Didn't you say you were calling around to a few of the hospitals
I
to see if you
called the
could track him down?
hospital, but it wasn't good.
Yeah.
No found them. I mean, there's just so many in the Houston area. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what to say.
He told me he fell and didn't get help. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyhow, I'm sorry to be a downer.
Uh, yeah, it's hopefully he's doing it better, but until until you hear it, it's like you said, it's a downer. But we're hoping we're hoping and praying that he's doing well.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
poor guy. My buddy.
yeah. No, he's a good guy. I mean,
That's right. I feel the same way if I Mr. Lost one of you guys. So. Oh God.
yeah. Tim says his living room is 191 square feet, Dan.
91.
Oh well, it's just about a little bit smaller than this
No, a
apartment.
little bit
So,
larger than your whole place. I mean, yeah, a little bit smaller than your whole
so it's
place.
about pretty close to the same size. But
Well, you said yours was 200 and what?
that extra 30 or 40 square feet makes a
So
difference.
it's about 45 square feet smaller.
But see, the whole thing is most people live outdoors here, and so
Yeah.
this is not a big deal. You just come here, you sleep, you do your business, you do a live stream or two, and then you head out to
Give a little love, and a little rub, and out you go.
out you go. Right, exactly.
But,
Yeah,
I like I said, I do like going out on the patio. I can't do it in the morning because direct sunlight. But late morning to the
What are you,
afternoon,
vampire?
my
What are
patio.
you, vampire?
Remember, I get skin cancer spots way too easy to
Oh,
sit in the
that's right. You
sun.
shouldn't be out there. Have you been wearing your
Oh, yeah, but I've still got my hands and everything else exposed. So I wait till I got shade where I sit at to go out and sit.
have you been wearing your SPF shirts?
Oh yeah,
Me too.
I
Not
got.
today, but I usually wear them. Yeah.
I'm trying to
I have
remember. I
3 of
got
them here.
68 of those shirts. I got
Yeah.
at least eight,
Yeah.
at least 6 T-shirts, and then 2 shirts with collars. And I wear one every day I'm off. I wear one of those. Hey, like your hat there, Mac Daddy.
I'm doing my Dan imitation.
Yasmin is here in the house. I don't know if you said hello to
Yeah, I
Yasmin.
said hi, and I gave her a monitor. She didn't have monitor when she first came in. And Yasmin, just to let you know, if you feel comfortable and want to come up and talk with us, come on up. That goes for anybody, Philadelphia trucker or Pennsylvania trucker or anybody else. If you feel comfortable and want to come up, come on up. He says his living room is about 17 square meters.
Yeah.
And Tim says, Mac Daddy, nice hat.
There you go.
See, they're building all over Sacramento. They're building micro apartments.
It's my gardening hat.
They're building little teeny tiny boxes for people to live in, and people are they're flocking. The Generation Xers.
I wanted
They're
to buy the Holiday Inn when it was for sale in downtown Johnstown, and I wanted to turn it into condos.
But you talking about your gardening hat? This was going to be my summer hat, but it's got way too many holes in it.
Then I got
too
my-
much sun. So about the only time I ever wear this is when it's evening and the sun's going down, or I'm on my live stream here.
In the evening when the sun go down.
Now you're wearing a ball cap.
Got that ball to sell.
All right, my living room is 192 square foot.
I used to like my old living room in my old house. It was 15.6 by 17.3.
Well, like I said, my old apartment that I lived in the place in Leroy for 15, 16 years. It's an apartment. I've been an apartment dweller all my adult life almost. And but anyway, it was about the size I have here. My bedroom is smaller. My bathroom is smaller, and my kitchen's a little larger. And then
My living room
I got a bigger storage closet.
My living room here is 12 by 18. My kitchen is 10 by 12. That's a little misleading because you got the countertops. And my dining room is 8 by 12 or 9 by 12.
I don't know how wide it is, but length is a little over 12 foot. My bedroom, and it's wider than it is long.
Braggart.
so I'm not sure. Huh?
Braggart. There you go, bragging again.
Well, no, I'm just. We were guessing. I mean, I'd have to measure it. I've never measured it. And then I got a nice size closet, but
I got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home.
I got a 1-bedroom place. If I could afford it, I'd have a 2-bedroom. I'd have
I
my
got-
computer and everything else set up in 1 bedroom, with probably a couch or a sofa. So it'd be more like a working office. The
Hey
other
guys,
just
later I'm going to
my
be
living.
at. I'm heading over to. Man, Minnie and I are headed over to SMC side to
Oh
meet up
yeah,
with some friends. So if you guys see me over there, you stop by and say hello.
you
There
might
you
be
go.
running it.
That's in
SMC
Pacquiao
side.
Mertz territory, I think. I think that's Pacquiao Mertz is in
Well, it's not only Parkhill Merce, but Chris and Shabu lives over that way, unless he's moved.
Yeah,
Chris and
he's
Cebu. I'll be looking
there.
out for him.
There's the casino right across from the mall, like up the street a bit, and he lives right behind that casino
Well, I'll be in Chris's
in those
neighborhood
condos.
then.
And,
Also,
by the way, Jack, Tim wants to know: do you have a motorcycle in your living room?
Nope. My
That's a
house ain't
question he
that
asked.
ghetto.
I don't know why.
We lost Dan.
No, Dan just he has to take care of something. He'll be back.
Uh,
He silenced his mic and then he stopped his camera. If you
I was
got
gonna.
to
Just
do
gonna get some Jollibee.
I was going to tell him his place is so small he's got to go out to change his mind.
my kitchen in my old apartment was that way. I had to back up. I had to go back out of the living room just to turn around.
Mm.
That's what I used to say. I got to back out to turn around.
It sounds
It
like
was really, and this was done a
hotel
whole
room
lot
here.
bigger, but it seems more spacious because it's not as enclosed.
Yeah, I got I guess a 12 by 50 mobile home, and then there's like a 2-bedroom clip off the one side. It's like another half a home, but it's actually 2 bedrooms. It's not bad. It's
She
comfortable.
has no house. She's probably. Are you an apartment dweller, Yasmin, like myself? I live in an apartment. There's, Dan lives in the studio, but it's still our apartment. I've been an apartment dweller almost my entire adult life. I was in the Navy, so some of that was living on ships, or living in barracks. I lived with my parents when I first got out for a short period of time. And when I first moved out here to New York, I lived with my sister. They all had houses, so there was times that I stayed in houses and lived there for a while. But when I live on my own, and I did live in a house. But I didn't own the house. I had a roommate who job they worked for Eastman Kodak, and they cut the labor force really bad. And so he had just bought his house not too long before, so he was looking for roommates to help pay so he wouldn't lose his house. And I lived there for about 4 or 5 years.
I used to rent a hotel room in Florida.
But
I lived in Plantation, Florida, at the Plantation Convention Center. It's like a La Quinta hotel. It's one of the most favorite places I lived. It was $1,000 a month for everything, and that included free breakfast every day. It's very convenient.
Yeah, it might be convenient, but that's more than I want to spend. Now, the nice thing about Florida is, like Texas, they do not have an income tax. There's no state income tax.
Yeah, but you probably spend that kind of money, Larry.
No,
How not?
Steak dinners every day.
I spend less than 800.
For your internet, your electric, and
Oh, you're
everything?
talking internet's included?
Everything's included. You're living in a hotel.
Okay.
I even got maid service 3 days a week.
I've done that too, Yasmin. I lived with my brother for a while. I've
Plus, it
stayed
included
with my
breakfast.
sisters. So I've done that. I'm trying to think now. Let me think. If you're talking internet, uh, yeah, probably about $800, maybe a little over, about less than 850.
With internet?
Oh yeah,
Electric?
yeah. My electric's only 159 a month.
What's your rent?
I'm between. I'd say somewhere around 850.
Wow. Well,
It might be a little bit more than that, but not much. It's right around
but
850.
I had the daily breakfast buffet too, which was quite nice.
That's different. I didn't have that.
You could walk through and they make you breakfast, like whatever you want. They had the omelet bar, everything.
So it
It was
wasn't a
nice.
continental breakfast.
Oh no, it was a breakfast buffet every day. It was nice, man. Coffee, whatever
Hey,
you wanted.
Retro, welcome, sir.
Hello.
Hey, Retro,
Retro.
my brother,
How's it? Doing good, brother. How you doing?
hanging in there.
Yep. And
Our
Jack's
friend
not-
Leonard's
I'm sorry,
MIA.
man. I know nosebleed means we're speaking too much English, probably speaking too fast. Sorry about that. If I ever
Who's speaking
learned to
too
go,
fast?
I'd probably feel the same way.
Who's speaking too fast?
Me, for one thing. You got to remember now with our friends from afar, like in the Philippines. I don't know if we got anybody here right now from Thailand.
We do.
Uh,
We do.
somebody that English is not their first language
Well-
or doesn't speak it a lot every day. It may be hard to follow along with some of our conversation.
What time is it there, Retro?
8:52 p.m.
So you're the same. You're Eastern time.
Yeah.
Days Eastern Standard.
He's up there in the Northeast, I thought.
Huh?
Yep.
Aren't you in Maine or somewhere up there? New Hampshire?
New Hampshire.
I love it there.
I've
Never
to
been
New
there.
Hampshire.
Been there. I've been through there a couple times, especially during the fall.
I can't say I've been.
You know, where
I've
you
been
come through Vermont,
once.
you go through the Green Mountains, the White Mountains, the Gray Mountains, whatever they. You know that whole tour thing that they do in the fall. Been on that
Sure.
a couple times. Yeah. The
Dan, I
long
had a
trail,
question
you
for
guys
you.
have the long. Doesn't the long trail come through New Hampshire?
I don't know. I don't study New Hampshire. I just study the
The
shops.
longest trail in the United States, the longest hiking trail goes from
Oh, you're
The
talking,
Appalachian Trail.
yeah,
yeah, it goes through the
that goes through
Appalachians.
quite a few
Pennsylvania.
states.
Yeah,
That goes through quite a few states. Goes through
That
New York.
goes from like Georgia all the way up to Maine.
And yeah, this says major love shout out to you, Retro.
Thank you, Yasmin.
Hey, Mengay, how you doing?
Menge.
We lost somebody?
who?
Oh,
I don't know. Everything gets switched again.
No,
I'm still here tonight.
no,
Oh,
we didn't lose anybody.
Jack, you're funny. We almost have enough to do Brady Bunch, don't we?
almost.
It's a story of
Hollywood
Andy.
need,
Squares.
4 more, and I'm not gonna have that many more up.
hello, Tim.
Pardon
Leonard-
me, I left the H off.
A retro, our friend Leonard is missing. We lost Leonard.
We lost contact with him. Yeah, I don't know what's
We
going
can't
on.
get in
with that.
contact
He's got
with
an
him.
open line on his messenger, and then he doesn't respond. Everybody's panicking because they know he took a fall. Took 4 hours for help to
Let me
get
do
to him,
this.
and that's the last anybody heard from him.
Yeesh.
Oh wow, I didn't know it took 4 hours for help to get there.
Yeah, he didn't say that. He didn't mention that to you.
No, well, I was in the middle of a meeting.
There
I
was
couldn't
no
really
there was
check.
no one there to help him. There was nobody there to help him. I don't know why he didn't call 911.
Maybe he couldn't get to his phone.
He had
Well,
the
he was-
internet.
Yeah,
needs a
he was
life
there.
alert.
He was there talking to
Talking to
D
me.
Oliveris and talking to Mac Daddy. He didn't tell you to call 911, Mac Daddy?
No, he didn't. And I sent him to you.
What?
I talked to Leonard at
Yeah.
like, I checked my timestamp at like 8:11 or something.
Right.
And I told him that I had gotten your bug that you were on. So I said, Dan's on right now. I said, I can't really talk. I was in the middle of like dispersing community funds and handing out money, so to speak. We were voting on checks and, fund distribution. The one day a month I get to do that. It's a lot of fun. I gave away $2,000 the other night.
But Leonard was he was in my live, right? Wasn't he?
I was thinking he was in the live Tuesday.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything,
No. Everything looked fine. Everything was normal.
but after a fall, he could have had another stroke. That's depending on whether he hit his head or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what I worry about, honestly.
He could have been sitting there with a concussion or something and not even know it. That's pretty serious if you're already a stroke victim.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't think nothing of it. I figured he would handle it. Like, my neighbor's handicapped and he falls all the time. He just calls the squad. They come out and pick him up.
He
He
needs
hit
one
the
of those help. I told him I can't get up buttons. I can't think of what it's called.
Life alert.
Thank you, Life Alert.
Oh, Life Alert. I'd forgotten all about that. You guys have that
Yeah,
fantastic system.
They're handy when you're at the bar.
Well, they're handy anywhere that you may fall.
I'm
Hey,
drunk. Can
I
I
used
get
to
up?
have a little toy statue.
Well,
about
A
this
lot of
size.
people they call Uber or
Yeah,
Lyft, and the
Guy
Uber
laying
or the
on his
Lyft
back with
guys.
his feet up beside a bar stool. He says,
Yeah.
I wish somebody would invent seatbelts for bar stools.
They got the Uber and the Lyft guys trained now for medical aids, and so you can go in there. You could call up one of the medical aid guys, and they'll come over, take you to your appointments. But I imagine they come in handy for doing this kind of stuff too.
Tim,
I don't know. It's a lot to
understand
pick
you
somebody
being
up.
wondering about that. I would too, but
If they're on the
because of
deck,
how much
you need more than one person.
recuperates and whether or not he's willing to take that chance. Like I said, right now, I don't know when I can go. Right, if I could go right now, I'd go. I'm healthy enough, no problem. But as everybody here knows,
Let's
Pamela,
see. I sort of wonder
chat
if Leonard.
Even the hospital uses a lift to get you off the floor.
Tim makes a
Honey,
good
how
point.
you doing? It's been a while.
Tim makes a good point. It's a horse's ass, Tim. I'll tell you why. Especially if you're on limited income, it's a horse's ass because you can't really get all your services and needs met when you're in the States. And he probably would do better, even if he's got mobility issues. I'm sure he's not planning on moving around. He probably would be better off in the Philippines.
I tried to tell him, but here you'll appreciate this one. I tried to tell him to get the hell out of Houston before he can even go to the Philippines. He said he didn't have enough money to go.
Yeah.
I told him pack up, move to Pennsylvania, where I'm at. I could get him a place for $350 or $400 a month.
Yeah, give him an
$500 with all
opportunity to save some
utilities.
money.
Even if he didn't want to leave Texas, get out of the big city. It's
Well,
like
he's
like the people in Chicago. You got people in Chicago are so afraid to open up their windows during the summer because of crime that older people, one year, they had to use refrigerated trucks to store the dead bodies. They had 100 and some people die from heat stroke.
Yeah, but that
Thing
ain't even what we're talking about.
Thing about the
In
Philippines,
Houston,
But I'm just saying, they can move outside the city.
you could
for
hire
less
a
money and have air conditioned.
full-time
and have
help.
a much
Yeah.
better living
he's
condition.
paying $13.50 a month to share an apartment or a house with somebody.
But what I'm saying though, if he moved outside the city and went to a smaller town he could get his own place for less money. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
You get out of the cities, you save money.
Larry, I mean, when you move out of the city, you lose service. If he came to Johnstown, he could live in the city and still get all his services because the hospital is like right there.
Yeah.
Tim
And
is
plus
saying
they
he's lucky he has people that check on him regularly, and that's sort of what I was referring to. That
They got help
we don't have. Yeah,
and everything.
there's help everywhere here in the Philippines. Trained
Just
and
let y'all
untrained.
know, Honeybee says hi to everyone.
Honeybee, honeybee, honeybee.
Honeybee.
What I tried to tell them was that they got Health Ride, they got Home Health Partners, they got everything here in Johnstown for people in his situation.
Well,
And he would save so much money, it would be insane.
I could if I was.
He could save $1,000 a month if that means anything.
If I retired and decided not to move to the Philippines for whatever reason, I could afford to live back home a lot better than I can afford to live here on my Social Security.
Yeah, but
Oh no, I got a VA in my hometown. I got a couple good hospitals. All that's in my hometown.
Yeah, something to be considered for sure.
I can go there
I mean,
and
if you're that
money
close
for-
that you got all that service, sure.
I could go there and live in an apartment like I'm living now for less money. Utilities are a lot cheaper in Indiana than here. They want to charge me of that $159 I was telling you my electric is. About $50 of it is service charge, delivery fee. It would not cost me that much for delivery fee in Indiana.
It's all that much cheaper here in Pennsylvania too, in the Laurel
That's
Highlands.
what I'm saying. I mean, you can move to another state. You just got to decide where you want. If I was going to move to a cold weather state, it would be Indiana because that's where my family's at.
Well, I tried to explain to Leonard too. When it came time to go to the Philippines, the airport's right down the street too, and these rural airports, you're in and out in like 10 minutes. There's no big lines or anything.
Yeah, well, we got what they call they call it an international airport. I don't think it is in Terre Haute. I can catch a flight out of there into Chicago, direct flight. Or I could go to O'Hare, direct flight to O'Hare. I could fly into Indianapolis, catch a flight to JFK or LAX or wherever.
Well, that's any airport, Larry. I mean, I could do that out of the regional airports here. I can catch a flight here and get a flight there.
Yeah,
and we're only regionals.
Yeah, mine's regional, but they fly quite a few places I could go to.
The airport down the street from my house.
It's international. You can get anything. We're not international airports here, but you can still bumper shot in anything you want off of other airports.
Like the international airport by my house here, it's not international. Yeah. You have to fly to a different island, and either to Cebu or Manila, and then you can leave the country.
Well, that's a regional.
Yeah,
well, that's what we call regional airports here.
Well, they call like I said, they say it's an international, but only because there's international deliveries that are brought in. It's not.
Well, that's regional.
Passenger flight out of there, international.
That's a regional airport.
Yeah, it's regional, but they have it's got the international because they're allowed to bring stuff in, and it's the delivery type system. Makes international deliveries, makes it a better place to come into.
That's any airport today.
No,
hey, yeah.
You gotta have a certain tax-free zone or something for these international deliveries.
Anything is better than imploding in a tin can.
It depends on where it's got to go through customs. Yeah, I've seen that
Jack?
one.
Yeah.
Right, Jack?
Yes, sir.
That submarine you're talking about?
Yeah,
there's a difference in being an adventure and then just being plain stupid.
That's the worst. way to spend
I put that
$250,000.
down. You can take that one off my bucket list. I don't need to get out and see
I'm
the
going to tell you
Titanic.
that the submarine was never on my bucket list.
If you want to,
Never.
if you want to waste $250,000, just give it to me.
No, I'm saying though, it was if I really wanted to go subs, I could have
Yeah, it
went
would
to
go a
subs
lot
while I was in
further.
the Navy. It was never something I wanted to do.
Well, if I wanted to go on a sub, the U.S. Navy subs are the one I'd want to be on.
I know, but I just like I said, I had a roommate, a friend on shore duty. He was a submariner, whatever they call him. He was a sub sailor, and
The one sub that sounds good is Subway.
that's a
Yeah.
good sub. That's a really
That's
good sub.
BLT or
But
Italian.
anyway, when you and being a submariner, you volunteer for it. Okay, you're not picked out and there you go. But when you're going through the training, they take you and put you like you're underwater and confine you in a space about the size of a submarine. And I forget how long you got to be down there for. And the reason why and you can ring out anytime you want. If it gets to you, you just let them know, hey, I can't take this, and you're out. And they keep you down there for days. I don't know how. I can't remember how many days. They keep you down there for days to make sure you can take it, because once you're out to sea and they go down, and you can't take it, well then you're stuck. So they try to find out during training.
Aboard.
That submarine that they took, that they were taking down to the Titanic, was never properly pressure tested, and it was carbon fiber. Every time you take carbon fiber down, it like pries itself apart and could be hacksawing itself apart from inside, and you couldn't even tell it.
Well, from what I understand, they had an experienced submariner who was older, and he told them it wasn't safe. They fired him, and they went out anyway.
They don't make they don't make carbon fiber submarines for the U.S. Navy for that reason. All of ours are special plate steel.
Hey, Tim is
Not
saying
only
he
that,
flies
there was
Hey,
no
Tim.
escape hatch on that submarine. They were bolted into it.
Hey, I just wanted to say, if you guys have never flown in and out of Clark, that is a beautiful, beautiful place to fly in and out of. It's so friggin' easy. It's the kind of place you guys were talking about. Who's here? LV, 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 LV. We flew out this time out of Clark. Now, usually it's about 10 or 20 bucks per ticket, more expensive because of the convenience factor, I'm sure, but that's a beautiful airport to fly out of. I mean, can you imagine flying out? No crowds, nobody's using it hardly, and then you just kind of like zoom, 1 hour flight.
That's what it's like leaving Johnstown.
Clark to Cebu.
If I want to fly out of Johnstown, I'm an hour to Washington, D.C. I'm an hour and 20 minutes to Philadelphia. I'm an hour and a half to New York.
Oh, they have international flights to Thailand now out of Cebu.
That sounds cool.
Cebu Airlines, Cebu Pacific is flying out of here to Thailand now.
Maybe 15, 20 minutes from me.
I mean, I gotta go. We gotta go because you can't pass a deal like that up. You just go over to Macton over here and you just take the big bird, couple hours, and boom, you're landing in the BKK.
Plus, they're trying to promote all these little regional airports around me. They're everything's discounted flight to get out of here.
Let's go, Jack.
You get one of your tickets for like $59 or $79.
Thailand, bro.
No.
BKK.
No. Manila. Cebu. For me.
Manila's fine.
I'm not in the Philippines yet, so hey.
You know, I love Manila. I don't have any complaints about Manila. A lot of people do. I know. I love it. It's got the nitty. It's got the gritty. It's got the wild nightlife vibe. It's got the rich and famous. It's got the poor, the down and out. And those are just the Americans begging for money on the street.
No, you know what I have against Manila? The cost.
Don't come here if you're broke.
You got Pampanga, Angeles City. You got San Fernando. I loved San Fernando when we came through there.
Good
Where
old tea.
I'm just saying those areas are fine.
Minisitas
I'm saying
are.
in Manila itself,
We have
it's the
we have
cost.
we have two
ABCM, how you doing?
relatives that are living there that are retired from the USA. That's screaming for us to go there and buy another house. San Fernando, Pampanga. It's screaming. It's calling for us.
I don't think any multiple houses in the Philippines though. It's so cheap to travel.
You know, the whole thing.
It all depends on how long. Dan, you're frozen, just to let you know if you can hear me. But it's not so much the way Dan's looking at it. It's not that he's traveling. He's looking at areas to have where he can go, and that's where he'll stay. And if he's got to travel, he'll travel from that area.
Don't
And
mind
if
me,
you look at
guy.
that as compared to an Airbnb, it's cheaper to have a a different base.
Well, I would never do Airbnb.
Well,
That's a ripoff.
yeah, but you go to hotels, it's even more expensive if you're going to go for a month. That's what I'm saying. He's talking about going for a month, 2 months at a time.
I don't know.
Yeah.
From what I understand, it's a lot cheaper if you just walk in and pay cash.
Dan just
Oh.
dropped out. Hopefully, he'll come back up.
I'm just drinking a homebrew tea for my headache.
You drink too much Boston tea.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, Jack ABCM just told you hi.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
I don't know if she'll say hi to me, but hi, ABCM.
Yeah, they
I-
quoted me a 3-week stay in Onda in one of those dive resorts for like $175.
well, like I said, he's talking about living there, and we got Dan back. Good. I was hoping you'd make it back, Dan.
Yeah, momentary brownout.
Plus, with the numbers that Dan's quoting for what it's costing him to stay, Larry, I don't see how he could get a house for so much less. It's like you get a lot of things when you stay out. You get room service and
Wow, what is that?
Peaches.
maid service. And
No,
Where at?
apple.
We're at.
It's
Where
not
you're at?
peaches. It's
Oh,
apple
yeah.
fluff. It
Yeah,
says
no.
Duchess.
In the north, the house we would buy a house. We'd just cash it out
yeah, I said I don't know why you need multiple houses though, because
because the money.
it's
I'll tell you
so cheap.
a good reason. One reason is the money is not doing a damn thing inside the bank. That's number one thing. It's just sitting there.
Oh, it's an
Yeah.
investment. Well, that's a different.
Yeah, it's not
deal.
doing anything. And so I'd rather take that money and throw it into real estate and say, okay, at least we have that.
And if you want
Push
later on,
comes to
you can
shove.
get most of your money, if not all your money, back.
Yeah, or you can rent it for steady
Yeah, as I
income.
said, you can get your money back in other ways.
Yeah.
My cousin Paul and her husband Tom, when they were in the Air Force, and I say them when they were in, because when you're married, it's a joint venture.
It
He
is?
went to oral surgery school in Indianapolis. The Air Force paid for him to become an oral surgeon. He was already a dentist.
I love that word oral.
When they went there, they decided, do we rent a place or do we buy a place?
What you
They
laughing
decided
at,
to
Mac
buy it.
Daddy?
And after 2 years, they sold it and made money. And what was you making fun of there, Dan?
I was just saying that if I were going to become a surgeon, it would be an oral surgeon.
There you go.
You stay away from my
I'm an
mouth.
oral practitioner. How's that?
Hi,
Oral
ABCM.
practitioner.
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Anyway. No. Then you got the whole Philippines covered from south to north. Actually, Leyte is more in the middle, I think. No, Cebu's about dead
And
center.
by the way, Dan, ABCM just said hi to you.
Hello, good morning. How are you, ABCM? We
Yeah,
got to
but
be
it's hard
doing
to manage stuff when you're out of town.
what's that?
It's hard to manage stuff when you're out of town.
So far, so good.
Well, her family's living with you guys in Bye, right?
Yeah,
Those
so it's no
parents?
problem because if we need to move, if we need to pay bills, all that stuff is done electronically now. We don't really need to do anything.
Yeah.
Is that
It's all
it?
done through. We pay all. We pay through GCash and stuff like that.
I've
It's
got
all done
cash.
electronically. Works
I've
great.
got-
My cat came to visit.
We noticed
I
that. At
saw
least I
that.
did.
Hey, Larry
of
and
affection.
everybody. Hey, Larry, my Cash App card came in the mail the other day.
Your what card?
Cash App.
Cash out.
I got one of them somewhere. Let me see where it's at. Let me see. Cash App. I got my Amazon card. Let's see. I got my
Yeah,
what's
let me tell you something, guys.
Gateway
This,
Airlines card. I got my Ring card, my Discover. I got two Discover. I don't know why I have so many. I got my PayPal.
I got another credit card coming.
Fidelity.
It's
Got this
0%
one.
interest for 21 months.
Jesus
Yeah.
That's what I
Christ.
did.
I know I
Jesus.
have Cash App.
I transferred one bill completely over and part of another one.
Yeah, but there's usually not 0% interest in transfer stuff.
got the
Oh, no,
wife.
there's
Oh,
free. No, there's
he's got a
3%
GCash card.
charge for transfer.
Hey, how do you
There
get
you
one of those? How do you get one of those, Jack?
Just go to your Gcash app
I
and
checked on it, Mac Daddy.
apply for it, and then you gotta pay like 350 pesos for it.
Uh-huh.
I got my Cash App card for free, and it's customized.
But like I said, it was 0% interest with 3% charge for the cash transfer, but 0% interest on it for 21 months.
Yeah, let me tell you guys.
Well, that'll help you out.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'll have it paid off.
Retro,
in 3
what was
months.
that can you were showing earlier?
20 months. I'll have it paid off.
my
in 20 months.
Duchess applesauce.
Oh, I love it. Love canned applesauce.
I got
It's my
jar
remedy for my
applesauce and
headache.
it's the sugar free.
It is sugar free. See, no sugar added.
Yeah, mine's that way too. It doesn't taste as good as regular applesauce, but
I
it's
think
better
I
for
tossed
Didn't
my
taste great.
Oh, it tastes
Retro. I
good,
think
but
I
like said, it's
tossed
better
my
for my
Cap
health.
Ash card, my Cash App card, and I remember the reason why. So, people know because I've done videos on it that I had so far. Each one of these fail safes that I come up with for transferring cash have all failed, except for PayPal, which I don't know if you know this, Jack. Jack, did you know that you can transfer money to yourself for pickup at Remitly through PayPal?
I never tried that. I know.
Yeah,
I did it. I Western Union myself money.
yeah.
Yeah.
Western
I don't
Union's a nightmare for me.
I just started tearing all the cards up and throwing them in the trash. One by one, they drop me, sending me letters and emails like you're involved in illegal activity. Your name matches the drug smuggler from wherever it was.
Yeah, well, my Cash App card hasn't
Colombia.
done that yet.
Prove that you're not him. All this crap, right? I'd have to send them facial recognition stuff, my IDs, my
I didn't have
name
to
of my
do that.
firstborn child, fingerprints, everything,
said-
right? Tattoos, and these people would not release my friggin' money.
I sent money through Western Union, and they kept spelling her name wrong. And every time
Remember-
they do that, she can't get the money, and
Right.
it takes me like a week to get my money back.
I know it's crazy. And Eddie Centeno, though, he loves Western Union, saying he only gets charged 99 cents to transfer from bank to bank, and it's true, except that where the hidden charges are in the exchange rate. So I gave
Yeah.
up on the whole thing. It takes too much brain power for me to figure all this stuff out.
So
I can't get any
Well,
enjoyment of life if I'm sitting there trying to figure out if they're going to dick me around for a couple pesos,
I would probably
Yeah.
do it the same way you're doing it with the PayPal. I have
How do I
PayPal
get
and
PayPal?
and
How
one
do
of
I
my
get
is
PayPal?
already
and
set up.
here's how I do it. Send a message to my son, Craig. Would you be so kind as to send me cash to Minnie's bank account? Done. And then he answers me within seconds. You know, he says, "Sure,
Oh, so
Dad."
somebody
Done.
else sends it to you through PayPal, but it's your
Yeah,
money.
yeah. We put my son as equal owner on the bank account, and so all he does is he just transfers it using his phone app.
Yeah.
He transfers
Right.
it straight to Minnie's. Now, you guys would think it would take a long time to get there, right? Because you're
No,
using.
it doesn't take long at all.
Yeah,
It doesn't take long at all.
I
It's
was
amazing
I
how
have
fast it
sent-
gets there.
I have sent money to the Philippines through PayPal.
I got a nightmare story for PayPal though. I bought something online with them, and they couldn't verify my cell phone number, so they wouldn't give me my money back because the product never showed up. I got scammed, and they told me they'd cover that, no problem, when I signed up. Well, they use anything they can to duck out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I prefer
got
It's
cash.
true.
I wanted
They
to
don't.
buy
They're not
something.
regulated. They can do whatever the hell they want.
Amazon
So I
does
got
it
PayPal 'cause I
too.
wanted to buy something and I didn't want to use my credit cards. I was going to pay
Cash
cash,
is king in the Philippines. Jack knows this.
and so I signed up for PayPal and bought the
You
one.
want you
one
don't.
or two
We don't
things, and
use
that's
credit
it. The
cards
rest
for
I'm donating money.
anything. Anything. It's all
Mhm.
cash.
I
Cash
use
is king.
Cash App. I use Cash App card because it's very simple for me.
Now, is
I
the
use
Cash
a
App card
master
is that
debit
like
card.
Gcash or is it a different?
Hold on, let me grab my wallet and I can give you a good example here.
Like I said, I'm just wondering, is that the same thing as a Gcash card that Jack has?
It's
It's
similar, but
It's similar. Yeah.
But
Hold
can
it up
you-
so we can
can
get
you
all the
transfer
numbers
money
off
to
the front and back.
to Gcash with that?
yeah, no
You
thanks.
still can't. Yeah. I mean, yeah. The 3-digit code.
Yeah, what's that? Oh
Yeah,
God.
And do you have
I've
a
been-
perma marker?
yeah,
Do you have a laundry marker?
yeah,
Yeah.
Tim says he doesn't even have a credit card. Well, Tim, that's my
PayPal.
problem. I want to get it
PayPal,
paid
buddy.
off.
PayPal.
I would get
I don't
PayPal,
have a
but I
PayPal
tried
card.
signing up. I tried signing up for PayPal, and it's too. There's too many steps. Okay.
There's a Prime.
I've tried
There's
getting.
Capital One.
I mean, I wouldn't mind getting an extra card just to have, you know.
You know,
I
I got
got one
frauded on my
coming.
credit card online. Someone bought plane tickets using my my travel card, but they refunded it. They sent me an alert. I had it set up so that they would send me alerts.
So what you
I got
said,
it set up on mine as well, on the new one.
so what you
Alerts.
so what you're saying is
Spend so
I
much
should
money.
get PayPal.
And I also got it set up for alert that if I get so close to my limit, which I don't plan, like I said, the only way I'll ever get close to my
Okay,
limit.
Crystals, thanks for coming in.
I just put
Yeah.
a physical hold on my property. They're stealing property here that way.
All right, Crystal, thanks for coming in.
Oh, transferring deeds. Transferring deeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most.
Take care now.
That's the strangest things, but it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do.
Why stop it?
Dan,
Yeah.
should I get PayPal?
Yes.
Okay. I can do that. It shouldn't be that. Like, how do you get the card? The
They
card.
mail it to you. They mail it to
Sign
you.
up online. They'll mail it to you.
They'll mail it to you.
Is it free to get the card, or do you have to pay?
I think. Do you pay? I think I paid. I think I paid a couple bucks for it.
But
not sure if I paid
Dan,
for
is that a
mine
credit
either,
card
so.
or is that like a bank card where you can use it as credit or as cash?
PayPal
Well, you can
is
use
the-
Oh, Cash
PayPal's
App.
against one of your accounts.
Yeah, 'cause
Cash
what I'm
App's just
saying
a
is
cash
now
card.
I have my PayPal set up with my bank account that my Social Security goes to, which is the bank account that I will keep once I get everything straightened out. I plan on dropping my other bank
You know
account.
what?
unless I
You
try
just
to set it up
reminded
as a
me.
savings.
you got this conversation is interesting. You know, Tim, I'll be talking to you because I want to figure out, Tim, how to move everything to the Philippines. I mean, everything. I mean, like, have no need for, declaring residency in California and all that stuff. I want to move everything here. And so,
I don't know
Tim,
if I can do that.
I
well,
don't know. I don't know if
You got the
California can pay for
FDIC
your,
to
retirement
insure
that
your
way.
money, Dan.
Let me come back on my
cash is
other
king.
computer.
All
Let
right.
me
Cash
come
is
back.
king, but
Hey,
you're,
Retro.
you want your account
back.
Here, Retro.
semi-insured.
I don't worry about that because there's no money in the bank. It's all in cash.
Well, what
Yeah,
I was talking about was your retirement fund from the California.
It's only there for a moment. Yeah, I want to see. Apparently, you could direct deposit. We have an agreement. The United States has an agreement with the Philippine government, and they could direct deposit into a Philippine bank account.
And Dan, Tim says don't do that.
yeah.
Okay, that's why we're going to have the conversation, Tim.
You want to keep your U.S. accounts. I know that. There's other reasons. Not only that, the U.S. dollar is still the most stable currency in the world.
That's for sure. But check this out. Here's my thinking on this. Okay, I'm convinced that you're very, very foolish if you don't take your money and convert it almost immediately into Philippine pesos. Because if you think about it, the Philippine peso, they're married to the US dollar. And so that means that as long as US dollar is stable, so will the Philippine peso
That does not mean that.
be equally stable. So as soon
That's
as you
not-
make that dollar,
No,
as
no,
as
you're
soon as
not
you make the
accurate.
dollar and it hits that bank account, you convert it to Philippine pesos, and you've already made 56 to 1 on your dollar. In other
Well-
words, you wouldn't come to the Philippines and use US dollars to open up a Philippine business. That's foolish because you're already profiting. In other words, you're already getting 56 to 1 on your investment. So you
You're
convert
not,
it to Philippine peso as quickly as possible.
You're
and
not.
enjoy-
You're looking at it
enjoy
all
your-
wrong. You're
Enjoy
wrong.
your life.
You're wrong.
It has yet
You
to
have to
fail
convert
me,
it at
brother. It has
There's a
yet to fail.
exchange rate.
The
You're
Philippine
not-
You have
peso
to convert
is not
to
going to
get
fail.
exchange rate.
You don't have proof of that. And history hasn't shown that, Dan.
Philippine peso has never failed, brother.
You got the FDIC though in the United States.
It doesn't make any difference if you have no money in an American bank. It doesn't make any difference what the FDIC is worth.
Well, you shouldn't have all your money out of the American bank.
No, you pull it out of the American bank as quickly as possible. There's no better guarantee than having the cash in your pocket. And not only that, spending it as quickly as possible so you get the full value of the money. So the
you
whole
walk
idea,
around the Philippines with like $50,000 or better in your pocket?
well, a little bit more than that, but I'm not bragging or anything.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's working out so fine. I can't even tell you how beautiful life is, So I mean, live life the way you want to live it. I mean, that's the best advice I can give.
But all right, Dan. That's all true, but you're giving out bad financial advice. That's all I can.
Well, I'm not giving out any financial advice. I'm sharing my opinion. I always give the disclaimer: do not follow anything that Dan has to say. I constantly give it. I'm giving it here. But I'm enjoying my life so much here that it's terribly embarrassing even for me.
I understand that you
I'm
enjoy
a
it.
peso multimillionaire, for crying out loud. I'm a peso multimillionaire. I've never been a millionaire in my entire life, but I'm one today.
He's a Filipino.
I mean, that's just the way that I view it. That's the way I view it. That's all. That's it.
But like I said, now, Daddy, I'm not going to follow Dad's advice. I'm going to keep my American bank open. I'm going to keep my Social Security.
Well, wait, I wasn't telling anybody to.
I know,
listen,
but I'm just saying.
I said this to Tim as an exploration.
Just because he says
I'm
he's going to do it doesn't mean somebody else has to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to
I
be
look at
getting
it
with
this way.
Tim, and I'm going to get all the details about why he feels it wouldn't work out so well. So
Well,
now, in years gone by, it was way easier to do business in Asia, as Jack knows, and you guys probably know also. Citibank was the go-to bank here in
Oh
Asia
yeah.
because they had branches all over the place. Right where I'm living right here, there used to be a branch just right down the street. And so all I have to do is jump in a cab, head down to the ATM, and I'd be using the same ATM card I'm using in America would work here in the ATM in the Philippines.
Yeah,
And
but
so,
there's still reasons why to keep your money in American money as
yes,
opposed to
yes,
other currency.
I don't. I just use it to transfer money through. That's the only point I'm trying to make here. The only reason to have it is to transfer to make it easier to transfer the money through. Here's another thing. Here's another thing. As long as everybody is making profiting off of your money, all is good in the world. So make sure that you pay all the fees for as the money is being passed along. So this is the reason why you want to do bank to bank transfers on money, so they could see the money trail, and everybody in between the United States and the Philippines gets to pick up their fees. As long as you're paying the fees and people are profiting, they pretty much leave you alone.
Tim, they
Hey, Dan,
closed
you
all
want
the
my
city
GPS
banks in
number?
the Philippines, I think.
What's that, Jack?
In
Jack?
Manila, that's about it.
You want
Jack,
my
say
They
it
have
GPS
one in
number,
Cebu,
Dan?
but I don't think it's open anymore. Because otherwise, Citibank is one of the banks I would think about.
Yeah, Citibank was the go-to bank. I had a beautiful
Yeah.
relationship. So they still are, as a matter of fact, because they're still marketing Citibank cards here in the Philippines, as Tim
Well,
knows.
I think
There's a
what I'm
Citibank
going
here.
to end up doing is going with one of the credit unions, like
Oh, they're
USAA.
horrible.
Yeah.
They're horrible. Unless you go with the federal one that
That's a federal. It's a federal credit union.
Steve was talking about.
Yeah.
But Steve, I believe, ran into trouble already with that setup.
Like I said,
Well, Larry's got Navy
I haven't
benefits.
decided what I'm going to go with yet.
Yeah.
I may keep the bank I have if I can transfer the money easy enough to a bank in the Philippines.
I don't know if it's helpful or not. I still use Citibank, but if you guys want, you have Wells Fargo here in the Philippines that does commercial banking. You have Bank of America that does commercial lending.
Now, Tim,
So
you
as
said
far as I
BDO is in the
know,
States.
they're not involved in commercial retail banking. Citibank was the only one that I know of.
Well, Tim says BDO is in the States. And if they are, I'm
BDO
pretty sure
is,
New
but
York City.
Yeah,
so
all over.
Tim,
Okay.
I went to Los Angeles and tried to open up an account at BDO, and the requirements I could not meet. And
What
so
was it?
I went into BDO when Minnie and I were in Los Angeles. We went to BDO, and the biggest drawback in BDO is that you had to keep $50,000 in the Los Angeles bank account,
Oh, that's
and
not going to work for me.
then once that 50,000 was secured, you couldn't move it. You weren't allowed to move it. Then you could do whatever you want in the Philippines with BDO, transfer money, do whatever you want. But they kept your first 50K.
Right, because of all the wire fraud and everything.
Right.
Well,
You got to
see,
be
that
careful. I
wouldn't
mean,
work for me.
I'm just telling you,
Well, like
there's
I said,
a lot of reasons why you want American money.
with me,
There's
the
a whole
bank
bunch
I
of
have
reasons
is gonna
why
be
you
an
shouldn't have
American
it.
bank. I'm just going to be
Mac
honest.
Daddy
The
also.
main reason for that is, let's say I get over there, I get sick, I have to come home. I'm single. I want to be able to get my money here at home.
Of course you can.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That's why I want to keep my money basically in the States,
Right.
but only if I can transfer it easy enough, which I should be able to, either using PayPal or one of these others into a bank in the Philippines, for what my monthly, I shouldn't say expenses, my monthly budget is. And when I say budget, that's not, for me, that doesn't include my savings.
Right.
Okay.
You're going to run into a problem in the Philippines, Larry, just by your BMI.
My what?
Your BMI.
You talk about body?
Body mass index.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will too. I mean, I got to tell you that.
Oh, I already know, I know that, but I'm just saying, just because you have the heat bothers you doesn't mean you can't survive it.
Well, so here's the other thing. You have to keep a certain amount of cash also in American dollars here in the Philippines. So we have that also.
Yeah.
So
And
we have we
You
have
should have a,
we
I
have it
also
here, and then we
want
also
to,
have
like I said, I want the money in the states
pesos.
because, like I said, when I first go, it's going. Let's be honest about it. It's going to be a tourist visa. The first 59 days now. That gives me time to think. Well, do I want to stay or leave? And if I'm enjoying
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
I'll
sure. It's
stay.
all that
And
is
that gives me,
understandable. Absolutely.
you know. So what you got to do is you got to look at everything. I mean, I'm not going to say, "Hey, I'm moving over. That I'm not coming back."
Right.
Uh, I
you should have an
don't know how
insurance
well
card through
I know
MediFlight.
I'll enjoy visiting. There's no ifs and buts about that. I'll enjoy going over and visiting the place, but will I like it enough to want to live there? All right, or will I be able to take the heat enough to live there?
You know what? You know what the attraction really is. The bottom line for Minnie and I think, is that the bottom line is it's so damn inexpensive to live here
Oh, that's
that
why I would.
you accept the rest of the shortcomings, but there you realize that the shortcomings are only temporary because they're improving things so quickly here that it can oftentimes it can make your head spin around.
Well, like I
I
said,
mean, if you could see how fast things are improving and changing here, they have complete towns here, like a Newtown, Mactan Newtown, that they're one of the most modern, innovative cities in the entire world. And so you go in there and you start looking around, you go, holy crap, why don't they have places like
uh,
this in the United States? I mean, you just can't imagine how quickly things are
I do
changing.
that when I go to Fairfax County, Virginia. You leave Old
now,
Town, Pennsylvania, and then go to Fairfax County, Virginia.
Right, that's a
It's
good
amazing.
example.
Tim says he just writes a check for deposit to my Philippine bank account. Takes a month for my money to get here. So in other words, I need to have 1 or 2 months in the account.
That's a really
Yeah.
smart way of doing it because that's a really smart way of doing it. And I'll tell you, the reason why is because even though it takes a month to get there, a month for the check to clear, once you get that cycle going, it's practically fee free. You know, once you get that thing going, after you get the first month of waiting, you know, you
Have you
got
ever
your
What
been
you
to
need, what you need is about 2 months worth of what your budget's going to be
yeah,
in case there's a hang up. And always try to
yeah.
have an extra month in there.
You ever been to
Well,
Fairfax County, Virginia, Dan?
no, but it must be like walking into the CIA complex. Must be like
It, it,
walking into the Pentagon.
I've been to
I don't know about
Falls
that, but
Church.
it's like walking into the future.
Yeah,
Is all I can tell you. Like I
yeah.
stayed
You
in
know,
condos. I stayed with a friend of mine in condos over there. When you went to the neighborhood, like when we like I was at his office, he said, "We're going to go home and watch this." We went home to his condo. We didn't have to get back in the car until like Monday. You could ride your bicycle to the supermarket, to the bar, to the shopping center. Everything was right there. It was convenient, but the cool thing was you had bike paths everywhere, and you didn't have to jump back in your vehicle to go do anything.
yeah. That's how Mactown, Newtown is coming along, and other parts of the Philippines. Like for example, BGC, Makati. You know, they're putting all this. They're putting in underground tunnels for railways, for subways, for. I mean, it's just friggin' amazing.
They
Like I
didn't
was
have
telling
all
you,
that.
the
Like,
place.
you
Go
just
ahead,
jump on
Magnetic.
your electric bike and ride over to the shopping center. Go in the
Exactly.
grocery store, grab a couple things. The bar's
Walk over
next
to
door.
it. You come down from your apartment, and the elevator opens up, and you're inside the mall.
Yes,
Some of
things
the
like that.
places, yeah.
You know, they're compartmentalizing it. They're making miniature cities. You know, they're making like bubble cities everywhere.
Yeah, well, like I was telling you before, Dan, that place you got in Cebu, that would be great for me as far as
Oh, it's
convenience.
perfect. It's
Yeah, for
perfect.
convenience.
I still can't believe it. Yeah, it's pricey. It's pricey, but it's worth. I mean, when you compare it, if you were to go into Guadalupe, let's say, which is about 15-minute taxi ride from here, you go into Guadalupe, you're going to find the same apartment. You're going to find it for 5,000 pesos less per month. But you're not going to have all the features of convenience that are around you. You know,
See,
you're
in a city like Dumaguete, I'd be willing to live that far out from the center because it'd be a lot easier to get into the center. But in a city like Cebu,
well, if you had your
or
own motor and stuff, you wouldn't have a problem. But in Dumaguete, it's kind of hard to find a ride.
well, no, you just buy a little bike.
You'd have to buy a bike, yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to buy a bike. But I don't want to ride a bike in a city like Cebu.
You wouldn't want to ride one in Dumaguete either.
Oh, I
Trust me.
would. I used
That's
to.
what
I
it's
used to ride a 750.
Yeah, trust
Yeah,
me.
right
You
on
you need
here
to you need to
anyway.
watch a few more
Go ahead.
videos on that.
Yeah, go watch some old Bud Brown videos. Oh my God.
What you gotta do is figure out the busy times, the busy days, and
I won't
Every
take
day.
the liability
and like I
at
said,
all.
I rode a 750. Believe me, I've been in some heavy traffic. And a 750.
Yeah, but you weren't 70 years old.
Maneuvers, those little
Good
mopeds
point,
that drive.
Mac Daddy. Good point. You know, the whole thing about it is that I love the idea. I've always have of transferring the liability from me to somebody else.
Well,
And
no, like I said,
it's always
that's
been a top priority. I don't want to accept any liability. I'm only a passenger. When the accident occurs, I just quietly walk away.
If you
Yeah.
can.
If you
especially-
can, yeah, you quietly
especially
walk away because
overseas.
yeah.
Because you're if you're driving, you're the cono, you're at fault.
You're the one that is at fault automatically.
That's
yeah.
not true.
Well, okay.
Yep,
Okay.
it is true.
It's true.
No, that's not.
All right,
talk
Mac
to-
Daddy.
Talk
It
to
is
Philly in
true.
the Philippines. He had
Jackson,
multiple
accidents.
It's true.
And he wasn't blamed for being at fault.
Who was that?
Brian from Philly in the Philippines. He said,
Okay, so,
"No,
yeah, I
that's
saw
the-
that. I saw the YouTube channel. So you have one incident. Well, it wasn't his fault.
he's had multiple accidents, not just
Yeah.
one.
What
Yeah.
you got to do is make sure you got your camera going to prove that you're not at fault.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have
Well,
that
there's a
camera
lot of
going.
traffic light cameras too, Larry.
Well, no,
There's cameras everywhere today.
But
no,
if you're
there's not
if
traffic
you're,
lights
if you're the
everywhere.
condo
Oh, no,
and you
there's
got
not.
you got the money in your pocket,
Okay, Larry,
you're
what
the
are you
guy
with?
that- you're the guy. You're the guy that's at fault.
Go to
And so
Dumaguete. There's almost no traffic lights at all.
I just
Brian was on multiple traffic
Tim,
light
you got to do it the way
cameras.
Tim does it. You got to do it the way Tim does it. You have the driver on call. Tim's got his own equipment. He just calls him up, or he's there,
But
and then he
like
just
I
takes
said,
him wherever he
there
wants to
are
go.
Places with no traffic lights at all. And Dumaguete, I don't know if they have any. Cebu doesn't have a whole lot.
Angeles
what?
City does.
You,
Of what?
Like video cameras on some of the traffic lights. And nobody has them on a ball, Larry.
They're starting to show up, bro.
yeah,
They're starting to
move
show
it,
up.
but like I said before, no.
Yeah, before there
well,
weren't, but now, you know,
Thank
you
you.
should see Osmina
Well, the more
Circle, man.
modernized
There
it
are
gets,
cameras everywhere.
Thank
if
you.
you can get people, which will happen, but it won't happen probably in my lifetime.
Oh,
If
it's
you
happening in
get
my
people
lifetime. I can tell you
follow
that.
the
Yeah,
rules that we
exactly.
know here in the States
Yeah.
for driving. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in our lifetime.
Oh my goodness
Not in the
gracious! It's
Philippines.
happening already.
Yeah, thank you. Wake up.
Our driving rules.
Where you living, man? It's happening all over the world so quickly.
He's living in a bubble, Dan.
Well, on some items I've thought, but I mean, Larry, you're pretty in tune. But I think the best thing to do is you got to come over here, like you said, when it's time to come over, take a look around, and you're going to get a better
Opinion.
feel for what's going on. I mean, things are just happening so
Like
quickly. I
said,
mean, I'm
you
looking
gotta
out my
remember, what
window.
I've been watching for a few years.
I
a
see
few
this.
years ago, a lot
Yeah.
of this. When Chris was walking around in Cebu,
Yeah.
there was a lot of places he went. There was no lights at all. And Bud Brown and Dumaguete, That's why they inch in and out because there's no lights. They don't follow the same traffic rules we follow. That's what I'm going by.
They're mere suggestions, even today. They're mere
Yeah,
suggestions.
that's what I'm saying. And if you look at Tim just wrote it down here just a moment ago. If you are a Kano, you are automatically guilty of accidents.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
is not true.
Oh my goodness
Tim lives
gracious!
in the
It is-
Philippines.
it is
Jack lives in the
100%
Philippines.
It's
They both say it
true.
is.
I'm telling you, Philly's
That's why I
been
have a-
lucky. Okay, one guy.
You're-
That's why I
Out
haven't
of
run
90,
One guy who-
out of 99,
one
out
guy
of
who's an
9 out of 10, I'll
influencer might have a
guarantee you, at
different
least 9 out of
outcome than
10,
someone that's
even
not.
when you're not at fault, you're going to be at fault if you're a Kano.
I mean, look at this. Look at this skyline, folks. I mean, come on. That's a modern city out there. That's no joke.
Exactly.
That is not that we're not living in the Stone Age in the Philippines.
Welcome back, Retro.
Welcome back. Thank you.
Don't be thinking the Philippines is moving 100 years back in time. It ain't. It isn't
No,
like
it's
that.
not going backwards. The nice thing about countries like the Philippines, they will skip ahead. You know how we
They
went through
will.
different
They're making-
stages. They will skip a stage once in a
That's
while.
right. That's right. They're
Well,
skipping
they're in
stages
Asia
right
too, and they
Huh?
get everything faster than we do in the States because they're already in Asia.
Well,
You got to
no,
realize
I'm
everything
talking about-
comes in from China.
No, we're not
China.
talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about.
That China word.
Remember, a lot of stuff from China is cheap too.
Don't get us banned. As a matter of fact,
Well, I'm saying that's
get
where
banned, remember?
this
where do
You
you
know
think all the traffic lights come from and all them cameras and all that stuff? It's all out of Asia, Larry.
Well, some of but
you
they
know what? You guys are giving me a great idea. This conversation. You know what would be really cool? I'll tell you what would be cool. To buy an IP camera, set it up on the building here outside my window, right? Just glue it onto the window or something, and then live stream right here 24 hours a day using the IP camera. So anytime you guys want to see what's going on, all you got to do is go to that IP address and the camera will be glued here to the building and you could see everything in real time. You guys are giving me a fantastic idea. I haven't seen
Cameras are so cheap anymore too.
They
You can
are.
buy a camera for
Cheap.
$10.
I know. They're so
You
cheap
got-
because we
you
got
got
a
the-
guy here in the mall here that sells them IP cameras. They're so dang inexpensive.
You should
You
see the
can't
price
check
of
the sound
robots
out.
and what that's doing. Robots are falling like a stone. I was looking at stuff online the other day. That stuff I couldn't even buy 3 years ago for $5,000 is now $168.
Tim is making a good point. Watching videos doesn't show real life here in the Philippines. And he's exactly correct. You're selling a product is what you're doing. If you're doing YouTube and you're doing YouTube, you're selling yourself and you're selling whatever dream it is that you think is
Sure.
going to inspire somebody to move here.
I'm just talking about like anything that you thought used to be real expensive is coming down so much. Like a CNC router to carve out things in wood
Yeah.
used to be $5,000. Now you can buy one on Amazon and have it in your home in 2 days for $168.
That's nice, actually.
It's insane how cheap certain things are becoming. All
Yeah.
this robot stuff. A robot lawnmower for $300. Cut your lawn. You set it up once, and all you got to
You're
do
not
is
thinking
park
about
in this
buying
little
yourself
dog
a virtual robotic girlfriend, are you, Mac Daddy?
Oh, he's already did
No.
that.
You can get them.
No,
You can get them in
no.
whatever ethnicity that you want, from what I understand.
Oh yeah.
And
They're
they're
expensive.
pliable. It's just like the real thing. Someone told me.
They got one called the Real Doll. It's made out of silicone rubber,
I
and
mean,
they got
can
little
you
pieces that you can remove in case you have to clean them.
Is it dishwasher safe?
imagine?
But
Yeah,
you
it
talk
is. As
about
a
robots
matter of
cutting the
fact.
grass,
Yeah, take it outside
remember
and hose it up.
how expensive the iRobot was for sweeping the floors?
Oh yeah, I
Look how
remember
cheap
that.
they are
Yeah.
now.
Well, Walmart, they closed now in my neighborhood to cut the robots loose at 11:30.
What?
And the
They're
robots,
using robots to stock the shelves?
they're using robots to clean the floors, and then they go up and down the aisles while they're cleaning the floors and take pictures of everything that's on the shelf. And
I'm
it
going to tell
does
you something. I
it does an
refuse.
AI. Wait, let me finish. It does an AI computer restocking that'll be delivered within 48 hours.
Yeah,
Did
like I
you
said,
did you get that?
Yeah.
like I said,
So
though,
the
it's amazing.
robots are checking the inventory and restocking the shelves.
Well, they got it to where whenever you ring something up, the inventory is automatically readjusted. They
Yeah, but
do that at the cash register in
right.
a lot of
But
places.
that
Yeah.
doesn't tell you what's been shoplifted, broken, or misset. They got
Hey,
planograms
baby! Hey!
to the craziness.
Good seeing you.
This is my robot. This is my Filipino robot.
Oh, you're a lucky man.
No.
Hi, Miss Minnie.
You're her ATM.
Yeah, you see why I always got a smile on my face?
Oh my
I would
God.
too. God bless you. My
Some
my,
people
my
are
point
lucky.
is
Some people are
though.
just like me.
My point is though, all this new computer stuff is coming at us so fast.
Well, yeah. Well, remember when the cell phone first came out? How big and bulky it was. How expensive it was.
Oh, it was a
Like a
brick phone.
suitcase. Yeah.
And I can remember that they would sell for the car phones. They sold fake antennas for your car. Oh yeah,
Oh, so you could look cool. Yeah, I know.
yeah. So you can look like you were
I remember
somebody.
that. I had one. What are you kidding me?
Yeah, but
Well,
it made you look
I'm as
like you were
superficial
had
as you
more
think
money
I
than
am.
you had.
None of the fast food joints in my neighborhood, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, KFC, I could get down the line. Nobody makes French fries anymore. The robot does because of the liability of having a employee make French fries. That the robot now does. All they do is fill up the boxes in the freezer, set the baskets up. The
Yeah.
robot cooks them and dumps them.
Well,
Oh, McDonald's is
not
double
at the
fried.
places I go to.
You know,
Not
guys,
Five
this
Guys,
is
not
related.
any of them.
This is loosely related to our conversation. But if you go into Old Dog New Tricks,
Yeah.
4 days ago he did a video, right? Unlocking the secrets of wealth and wisdom in the Philippines. Go watch that video. You won't be disappointed.
I
He
haven't
talks
watched
about the
Old
same
Dog in a
thing.
while. I used to,
Mac
hey,
Daddy,
Monroe, how you
it says,
doing?
will the Philippines make you richer and smarter? That's the topic.
Hey everyone, Monroe Life in North Carolina is here from Greensboro,
Monroe.
North Carolina.
What's up,
I
bro?
think I could learn to be richer in the Philippines, Dan. I used to sell a line of bamboo furniture when I sold patio furniture called Cebu. And it had Macatan sides in it, which were a nightmare to get the proper matching Macatan. But other than that, man, people ate that bamboo furniture up like they loved it. It was real comfortable, real attractive, not very expensive for us, and we made a great profit margin on it.
Mhm.
We had there's furniture stores over where I used to live called House of Cebu, and it's all bamboo furniture.
Now, on a different but related subject, I had my uncle Orange used to take limbs and stuff. You know, a thick, not trunks, but saplings, about a couple inches thick, and he would make furniture out of that himself.
Yeah, they make hickory furniture like that
Yeah.
around here.
But he did it
Because the
himself. Now,
hickory
my
you
uncle
can
Orange,
you can
I-
boil it
he
and make
he
it
lived
right
to
out
be
of the
about
limb.
98. That was my mom's mother's brother, and I'm not
I'm thi-
sure where he
Since I
learned to
can't
do it, whether it was when he was on the reservation or if he learned it somewhere else. I really don't know.
since I can't do the moonshine thing like I used to these days, I'm in the Laurel Highlands. There's sawmills everywhere. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting one. And I think I'm going to go into cutting board business. Just buy the lumber, cut out the cutting boards. They're selling like biscuits. And if you get fancy with it, they're selling for $200 and $300 a piece.
There's a
They don't sell biscuits.
girl that's on.
Hey, do you know how to make those, Mac Daddy?
Instagram.
Yes, I
And,
do.
She's
Huh.
she's
I like that
woodworker,
idea a lot.
and
You just-
she does some cutting boards, but she's gone to some more elaborate type stuff like tables and
I don't want to get that fancy. I just want to do cutting boards. And I want to do like
she was
I
talking
want
about
to do
a
something with like a piece of walnut, a piece of cherry, a piece of maple, and when you put it down to one side, it looks like a racing stripe. So they look real nice.
she
They got
made a
another
couple
one that they
cutting
put
boards that
together,
looked
looks
really
like
good.
bricks.
She decided to
They
go
glue
with
them
the
together.
other stuff.
Yeah, but I don't want to get into. Then you got to do furniture and this. That. I want to keep it simple. The kid that I seen a couple weeks ago at the farmers market did about $3,000 a week in business selling cutting boards. I don't need to be the furniture company. I just want to sell cutting boards.
You know that
All
I
of
like
hers
that
are
idea.
special
That's
orders. She does nothing but
that
special.
resonates
people,
with me.
Dan,
and
you'll love this
they-
one.
They
Yeah.
just get together,
$20 to
they decide
$50.
what they want.
Everybody can afford one. From
Man,
the
you'd enjoy
breadboard.
the hell out of making them too. That's the other thing.
Well, here's the other thing. I'm surrounded by all these hardwood forests, including my property. They want to buy the cherry wood off of my property and pay me $5,000.
Danny, how you doing, buddy? Danny from Road to the Philippines is here.
Danny, what's
So-
up?
Hey, Danny, come on up if you want. We got room.
I like natural forested products, Dan. And that's why I like the bamboo furniture from the Philippines.
You know, I kind of like plastic.
Yeah, I noticed. Battery operated plastic. But you're in Asia, all that stuff's coming in too. They make tons of toys because they love their children.
Well, the one thing
So
about
much.
plastic in Asia, especially in the Philippines and probably Thailand and Vietnam, wood products probably. I know in the Philippines they have a lot of termites, and so you have to worry about that. So you got to keep it
Yeah, that's
treated.
true.
And
Well, they take the
Also-
bamboo furniture down to the bay and soak it in salt water a couple times. The termites won't eat it then.
They put something. They treated
used
some
to-
other.
Well, they got other stuff too, but if
They got other
the
stuff. Yeah.
layman's way of doing it is make it get a high salt content.
Yeah, where's Sammy? Sammy would be able to clue us in on all that stuff. Where's
she
Sammy?
was in the background. I don't know if she's still here or not. She hadn't said anything for a while.
I seen Brian Grant do
Oh,
that.
Danny,
He took his
come on,
furniture.
guys.
Oh yeah, I've seen people do it that way also. They put it.
Oh, Danny
hold
says
it
he's gonna work
underwater.
16 hours tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
They
what they're
float it.
doing.
They float it in the ocean.
Yeah, get the high
Feel
salt
it.
content.
People steal your bamboo. The next morning you come out, your bamboo's gone. So,
Well,
Somebody
that's when
stole
you get
it.
a saltwater pool and just soak it in your own pool.
I don't know about that.
well, we're talking. I mean, I think they were building a house out of the stuff, and so they needed a lot of this stuff treated.
Shovel hut stuff.
Yeah. And so they had so much bamboo in the water. Somebody stole it.
I see
Those Kobo
Danny, I
huts
got a
you can
12-hour
buy-
day tomorrow. I had one
What?
today and a 12-hour day tomorrow. Danny from Road to the Philippines says he's got a 16-hour day tomorrow.
Oh,
God
damn.
bless.
Well, make money, man. Make money.
That's what he does.
Cha-ching.
He works so many months and then he goes back to the Philippines to see his wife. And then he
Beautiful.
comes-
Beautiful life.
I think he's a contract nurse like your son, Dan.
What's
You'll,
that?
you'll like this.
I think
You'll
he's
like
of those
this one,
nurses that
Dan.
Do contracts.
Uh-huh.
He's in the
Oh,
medical field.
yeah. Yeah, my kid sent me an email. He's no longer in Santa Fe. He's in Oklahoma City. I think I may have mentioned that. Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't
Yeah,
hear
you
you mention that. Last I heard, he was in New Mexico.
Yeah. Of course, it's what is
Last
it?
week you mentioned
Tornado
he was in
season.
Oklahoma for the weather.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's
Living here in the
smart.
Laurel Highlands,
I mean,
No,
he works 6 months a year, and then he takes the rest of the year off.
but I don't know how long Danny works. I don't know if it's 6 months or 9 months. I don't know. Uh, but he works so much, and then he goes back to the Philippines and visits with his wife.
Sounds
And
sweet.
oh yeah, if
I
you
had a
can,
friend that went to Dubai to do CAT scans. She was
I'll,
making $350K a year abroad.
if I could afford it, all right, if I could afford it when I retire, I would have a place here in the States, and I would go to the Philippines for the winter months. I'd do about 6 months there and 6 months here. But I'm
Yeah, it
not going
all
to be able to afford that.
all
I'm going to have to
sounds
live one
nice.
place or the other.
It all sounds nice and
That's
kind
what I
of
said. I can't afford it.
yeah, if you can afford it. See, the whole thing that's the whole point. The whole point is that I look at it and I go, man, you're talking about. So what I'm planning, October is when we're going to be going back because that's when the plane tickets are the cheapest. So we'll be headed back to the United States to Los Angeles and then seeing my son in Sacramento and his family. So, but you got to budget like 10 grand for that trip. You know, that whole trip is going to be about $10,000. And so that 10 grand can go it can go so far in the Philippines.
Oh yeah.
That's why I decided that once every 18 months is good enough for a return trip. Once every
Yeah,
18
I
months.
don't see how Larry's going to be able to do all that jump around.
Oh no, I won't be able to. No, no. Like I said, if I could afford it, I would like
Well,
to do six
that's a
months in the
fantasy then.
Philippines. The winter months, like October, November,
Yeah,
December, January,
that would be
February,
ideal.
March.
Yeah.
Come back to the States for April through September, which are the better months here in the States, and do that. But I'm not going to be able to
Oh,
afford that.
psychiat. Oh, dang. Okay, you're doing good, Danny.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So my kid's a traveling nurse.
He works in the same area all the time, but he gets so many months off.
Right.
He's heading back to the Philippines in September.
I mean, psychiatric nurses they're really high in demand right now.
And
Yeah, they got a really
Especially
dangerous job.
yeah, especially post COVID. I mean, everybody wants to go jump off a bridge and crap.
Damn.
Teenagers.
now he's got a friend that's in the Philippines. I think he's doing the same thing, right? He says, I work 76 hours every week.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of hours. It's a
He
double
works
week.
almost, he works either five, almost four 16-hour days and one 12-hour day,
Holy crap, you're making major money.
or he's working 6 or 7 days a week.
You know something? I've thought about it maybe once, and that was it. So the time that I was making my exit, when I was getting ready to retire, okay, my job, I wasn't doing anything. First of all, I was sitting at a table, pretending to work, sitting in a cubie, pretending to work. And
That's my kind of job.
yeah, and they negotiate. I mean, and they negotiated. I was on the negotiating team, and so we ended up getting. I mean, the raise over this next 3-year contract. Oh my God, it was so enormous that a lot of people were thinking, Dan, you gotta stay for another 3 years, and come to the party. But I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But I think about it maybe once in a while. I'll think, man, maybe I should have stayed and
Well,
come to the party. It was such a huge boost in pay that I wouldn't have thought in my entire life that I would have ever made so much money. I mean, my job is only worth minimum wage, and they were paying me such enormous amount of money for being a stupid clerk that I just couldn't believe it. And then not only that, they replaced me after I retired. They replaced me with somebody else
now
who now is sitting there doing the same thing I was doing, nothing. That's
Now, Dan,
government
I
work
told you
for
my
you.
sister was a social worker back home. She
Right,
retired at
right,
55.
right.
She tried to get me to do it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And at the time, it didn't pay that great. I didn't think
Yeah, it
about the
didn't.
benefits. All right.
I started at $12 an hour doing my job.
I would have made less than that, but I was in Indiana.
No,
So,
and by,
you
by
know,
the time I left, I was making over 100K a year.
I don't know what she made at the end. None of my business. I don't talk to any of my family about how much money they got coming in. It's not my
Yeah,
business.
yeah,
But like I said, though, she was able to retire at 55. She didn't. I don't know if she's. She might have finally took her Social Security because this year she turned 62. She's already had her birthday. So right now she's only 7 years younger than when my birthday. She'll be 8. But so I don't know if she took her Social Security yet or not. But she still works a couple days a week because she enjoys the job. She's not working Social Security anymore. I'm a social worker anymore. At the welfare department, she's no longer there. But she has a job that she likes, and she likes the people she works for and work with. But it's only like 2 days a week.
yeah.
And,
So it sounds like so what I was doing is I worked in the welfare department as a social worker. My job was working with convicted felons and in the employment services part of it. And you know, when the global calamity hit, there was nothing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, because they canceled face-to-face meetings.
yeah,
So there
because
was
of
nothing
COVID,
to
yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing to do. So I had a lot of busy work. So what I did was I switched gears, started helping people apply for Social Security disability. I learned the ropes in there pretty fast and was very, very successful getting a lot of people on that were struggling to get on. You know, I learned the pattern that they were looking for. And basically, I did that for the past few years, the past few
Like I said,
years.
by the time the pandemic hit, my sister was already retired.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, it would have been a fun ride had she hung around.
well, she didn't
We
like
still,
she got a new boss. She was planning on working until she was 62.
yeah,
She got a new boss, and she did not like her new boss. She did not like her. So she decided, I got the time in. I'm retiring at 55. So she did.
yeah,
So
yeah.
she went out
We
and got
get
a job
retired
where she was working
55.
like 3 days a week or so, maybe
Yeah,
4. But then she got upset with the group because they were telling her she has to do this, she has to do that. And, my sister's a little stubborn. It's like, no, I don't. I quit. And
yeah.
then she got this job and she loves it. And
So we were
her husband
doing.
retired
It sounds
state
very
work as
similar.
well.
We retirement was available to us at age 55 with 20 years.
Yeah. Well, she had more than 20 in
Yeah.
by the time
And
she
so,
hit
I
50.
mean, can you believe that? I mean, it's crazy. But now they're having problems keeping people, and that's part of the whole system of things.
See, now, if I'd have went to work when my sister tried to get me to go, I would have had to work till, I don't know, but it would have been past 55. I'm trying to remember. 56, 57. It would have been before I hit 60. Now,
Doable.
knowing me, I would have kept working until I took my Social Security. That's just me.
I blew
Uh,
by 62. I don't even know how it happened. I don't even remember it.
Yeah.
And then coming up on my 65th birthday, a lot of people will tell you this is usually the way it happens, right? You just wake up one morning and you kind of are looking around going, man, hell with
All
this.
right,
I'm
we
going
got
to the
Danny coming in,
Philippines.
guys. Hello, Danny.
Hey, there he is.
Yep. Danny from
How's it
Rome
going,
to the
guys?
Philippines. Gonna make me
How are you?
now. Jack and
Good to,
Dan's already
good to
got me
see you.
jealous because they're
Yeah,
already
good
in the
seeing you
Philippines, living there. Now, Danny here is going to make me jealous in the same month, my birthday month, because he's going. I don't know what day you're going in September, but that's my birthday month.
My birthday's in July.
Mine's in September. The 16th, of September is my birthday.
20th for me in July.
And so, like I said, he's going to make me jealous. I'm going to be 70 years old, and he's going
Oh,
to be in the
wow.
Philippines, and I'm going to still be working. Now, what kind of justification is that?
Yeah, I'll be heading out there. Well, I'm leaving August 31st.
All right, so you're going to be there on the 1st, or shortly there. No, to be the 1st there. You'll be there on the 2nd.
Where are you headed to, Danny? Where are you headed to?
Well, I'll be, flying from LA to Manila and then Manila down to Davao. And
Man, I love flying out of LAX. I just love it.
oh yeah, I love it.
Can't explain why. Just
It's
love it.
confusing though. That place is confusing.
Yeah,
After one or two trips, when you get used to where the international terminal is, the domestic terminal, all that stuff, it's pretty straightforward, But I do understand what you're talking about there.
Yeah, this will be
Showing
my
up sober also helps.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that helps a little bit, but sometimes it's better just to be drunk when you're going through
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long flight from LA to Manila, but I don't mind.
I just need to be mellow enough to sleep.
Well, the
So-
flight leaves at like about 10:30 at night. So
Well,
I just
see,
try to
my
stay-
problem is I won't be able to fly cheap. I'll have to pay for better tickets. I have sleep apnea. And,
Well, I'm too damn
so
cheap.
unless I want to keep everybody else awake and
Oh,
just
you got
snore all night,
Danny, when they
I
first
have
brought
a
back
machine to use.
after COVID, they were trying to get people to fly. Philippine Airlines had that great deal, where you could fly business class for, it was hella cheap. So man, Minnie and I, we just scooped up a couple of them business class tickets, and we got on the Big Bird, and it was a beautiful, beautiful flight.
Well, like I said,
There's nothing like it. There's nothing
you
like
said,
it in
talking
the
about
world,
the
man.
Prices. You bought your tickets already, right? Danny,
You what?
you already bought your tickets,
Yep.
and you saved quite a bit of money by buying them farther out.
Well,
But the thing
around-
is, as things return more to normal, because we're still not back to normal, especially
Right.
for travel. We're still
Nas,
not back to pre.
COVID is spiking in the Philippines right now. It's spiking like crazy. Everybody is sick.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, though, you still don't have the flights you used to have. You don't have as many. So when we get back to more pre-pandemic normal, we'll never be back to normal, but closer to it.
Well, it's
the
going to
prices
happen
will go
soon.
down
But
even more.
another thing in international flying that's happening, and it's happening on the domestic side, is they're retrofitting a lot of planes, and when they're ordering new planes, they're not putting in as many coach seats. They're trying to upgrade people into premium economy, and then go up from there. So they're actually slowly trying to raise the ticket prices and then give those extra services that people would be willing to pay for, because they're saying the airline industry is saying that we're going to be flying fewer planes, and we need to figure out how to still make money. And so one of the ways you could do that is by offering a little bit more for a little bit more on the ticket price. So coach will always be there, but they're just kind of retrofitting planes.
So I'm going to have to go for the more expensive ticket, as much as I hate to say that.
Yeah, and why not?
With airlines, Larry, it's a cheaper way to go.
Yeah,
Well,
once you
I gotta
retire,
be able to plug in my CPAP so I can sleep.
Right, switch airlines. Fly Japan Airlines. They got a whole couch for a seat that you can lounge back in and plug everything in.
Like I said, right now it's too.
Danny,
early to
what
start
trick do
looking.
you use when you travel? What trick can you share with us
What
Who's
trick?
that? Yeah,
on the
what
long
trick, Danny?
distance?
You travel more than most of us.
Like, for example, when I'm flying coach, I would usually get the exit seats, and pay the extra premium, $100 or $200 to get those exit seats, so I'm comfortable. Of course,
Right.
it depends on what kind of plane we're flying on.
Right. Yeah, I've flown, window seat, and I've flown the aisle seat, and I've flown in the middle seat. And, it's nice having the aisle seat, but the thing I don't like about it, I could be sitting there, I could be, I try to stay up as late as I can so that, when I arrive in the Philippines, I'm kind of over that jet lag pretty much, because I just fight to, because it's, from, it's like 13 hours difference from Missouri and the Philippines. So I try to get used to being up during the day and sleeping the night over there. And when eventually I just get so damn tired, I just pass out. And what I don't like about being in the aisle seat is, being woke up by the other two people next to me.
I
Yeah.
gotta pee. I gotta
Bathroom,
pee.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
That's
man.
why I love those exit seats,
Right.
because I think it's a 727, not so much the Airbus.
Mm-hmm.
The 727 though. I mean I'm sorry, what is it? The big plane.
747.
787, 787.
Airbus Air
And it has
380.
like 10 rows.
Yeah, you know how
Similar.
you have gives you plenty of space, so that even if you have the window seat, you don't have to disturb anybody to move. To move in between.
I
Yeah.
was sat in business class when I came back from China, and we had that row that was right in front of where the split from business class to first class, and there was enough room there. You didn't have to wake anybody up.
Yeah, but Larry, how many years ago was that?
That was in '99.
Right.
Wow.
Forget it. Huh.
No, you're still going to have that kind of room in
4 years
certain
ago?
areas.
Yeah, but my point is, all them planes have been remodeled since then. It's a
Oh, yeah,
totally
but-
different flying world.
That's what I'm saying. But you can look up the layout online of the plane you're flying.
That's why I was telling you, fly Air Japan or Singapore
I'm
Airlines.
telling you, there
Oh,
was
yeah,
nothing
Korean
like
Air is
that
good.
747.
I don't
I
know if
love
it's
that plane. Good God, I love that.
Instead of having, it's a 747 or whatever they're flying, or an Airbus, but instead of having a seat, it looks like almost like a couch that they give you to sit on. It's
Yeah,
a big lounge.
That's what I'll look for. That is what I'll look for.
That's what I'm trying to explain, and you got to
I've
get off the
heard- I've heard
American
of
planes
those
to get
already.
that.
That you can almost lay it down and be almost like in a bed.
This thing
That's
is a
first
bed.
class. That's not business class.
This
Well,
thing
this is like
is a
a
bed.
Yeah, business class is nice, but man, I'm too cheap to pay that extra $2,000 or $3,000.
Welcome to my world, Danny.
Jim says
We
I
did
don't
it
mind
once
paying
because
business
it was
class
cheap.
tickets.
See,
Right.
it was cheap. So
Well,
after
I'll
that,
pay the business
the
class.
price
No-
started
no
doubling
question
and
about it.
tripling, and
Yeah, I don't
Whether or
want
not
to pay
go
the
first
extra
class is
$3,000, $4,000 just for to be comfortable.
well, we paid. I think it was $2,700 a ticket, and that was worth every penny. When we got into Manila, well, we were at the time when we left LAX, we were headed for Thailand on Philippine Airline. They had the best deal, and we were coming through Manila. I mean, there is nothing like being able to get into business class, relax, and lay all the way down and sleep. And then once you get to Manila, you get to use the I mean, in LAX and also Manila, and then when we got to Thailand, we were able to use the lounges. And so we go into the lounge, and they got all this, everything you need, in the lounges.
Right.
I don't know
$2,700 a ticket. It was worth every penny. But now, business class is going for like $4,500, $5,000.
Right.
There's no way to afford it again.
Well, this
My mom
the
paid
trip-
$16,000 last year, first class. I'm like,
Well, like I said, somebody, I can't
That's
remember
crazy.
who, one of the vloggers, they like to fly into Korea because it's the Korean airport, international airport. They have showers.
Incheon, that's a big,
showers,
nice
you got
place to go.
layover, And they got places where you can lay down and sleep. So
yeah,
like I said, I'm going to go
with economy.
the best route for me. And maybe I would love to fly nonstop. I flew to China from Detroit, nonstop there and nonstop back. There was no layovers anywhere, and I wasn't on the CPAP yet, so I did sleep on the plane. Sleep setting up is better than laying down, but I'm going to snore
Right,
no matter how I sleep.
Yeah, you
Right
know
on
what?
the CPAP.
But I'm with Danny on the economy class. I just figured out that in order to make the ride more comfortable, you go for the exit seats, pay the extra money, because most people I discovered they won't pay it. Even when I book late, I discovered that those exit seats they were still available. And so, Minnie, she's so
a lot of
tiny.
legroom.
Yeah, all this legroom. Man Mini is so tiny that she only uses half a seat. So when you got me and you got Man Mini together, I got all the room that you possibly could want in
Or
those
you could
exit
save some.
rows.
Well, you know,
But
Dan, you brought out an important point. Every time I've ever will called, meaning that I bumped into an earlier flight when I was traveling,
Right.
anytime I've ever will called, they always sit me in those seats, and I could never figure out why. Because nobody wants to pay that little bit of extra money. They'll have the whole plane sold out, and them seats are still available.
I know, it's really weird. It's really strange
It
how that
is.
works.
I mean, and
Yeah.
I'm will
You
calling
could
like
actually pay for the advanced ticket, show up at the airport, and then when you're checking in saying, "Hey, do you think
are they there?
are they there? Or is anybody using them? Are they available?" And they'll be able to get you in there.
And I will called a couple times where they let me on the plane as they were closing the door, basically. It's the neatest way to fly.
No.
Danny,
I upgraded. I got home hours
Danny,
early.
how large are you? How tall are you, Danny?
I'm about 5'10", 5'11",
And then what
God,
are
it's
you?
work.
about 220.
220. So we're about the same size. So except I'm a
Y'all
shorter guy
lightweight.
carrying the 200 pounds. So I'm a little bit shorter. I'm carrying 200 pounds.
I'm 5'8" and about 300. You're all lightweights.
Yeah, we still can squeeze into a coach seat, but if you needed
I
to,
could squeeze into a coach seat, but I'm
you could buy 2
6'3" and
seats now.
385.
You could buy 2 seats. They offer that option, and you could have 2 seats in coach, and have just a beautiful flight over to the Philippines if you wanted to. But like you said, you're an economy flyer. I appreciate
if I
that.
was
For
going to buy
years, I'm
2
playing
seats, I'd
economy.
rather pay a little more money and get one of the bigger seats, like in business, because it'd probably be close to the same price as buying 2 seats.
Yeah, but you're not
Well,
going to think. I'm
It's
telling you,
going to
when
be
you do it,
$5,000
you're
to
not
fly
going to.
business class. It's going to be $5,000, and I think you can still get a decent seat and coach for $700 or $800.
Japan or Singapore Airlines, Dan, who'll get the discount.
Well, from Kansas City to Davao round trip, it's costing me a little over $2,000.
That ain't bad at all. That is not bad at all.
So said prices are actually. I think prices will come down. They may go up an average of what they were before, but compared to what they are now, I think they will come down.
And I
Well, you
could
got
Well, you got to check out foreign airlines.
Oh no,
it's
I have no
seasonal.
problem flying a foreign airline.
Well, but
Korean
Japan
Airlines are
Flying
cool
for
too.
the best deal I can find, with the best seats I can get. Because, like I said, I want comfort, especially that's a long trip. We're looking at 99. You know how many years ago? That was 24 years ago.
That's all I was saying. It's like,
what I'm saying is, you know how much I weighed less than I weigh. I was in better
but they
shape.
remodeled the plane so much since
No,
then.
I'm just talking about the difficulty of the flight, Matt, not the size of the plane. Don't care. I'm saying I was smaller, so no matter what, the smaller seats didn't bother me. I was about 100 pounds less. No, not that much now. Probably about 60 pounds less than I was. I am close to that, which is a lot of weight off of a person my height. I was 24 years younger. Health-wise, I was in a lot better shape than I am right now. So it was a lot easier to take whatever seat I could get. Today, at my age, at my weight, not going to happen. I'm going to get the best seat I can afford.
Yeah, but I'm saying the foreign airlines.
Yeah,
I was taught this by a travel agent.
Believe me, that's what I'll get.
yeah. If you can afford it and you don't mind paying that extra money, hey, go for it.
Like I said, what
Well,
Matt
they're
was
gonna
talking
discount
about a while ago was you get these seats that almost lay down like a couch or a bed.
Right.
You can plug everything in that you need to plug in, which would be very comfortable for sleeping. You could use whatever equipment you got with you. Like when I go, I'll have to carry my CPAP and carry on luggage.
How big's your CPAP,
I'll let me
Larry?
carry both.
How big's your CPAP? Hello?
Hey, now that's getting a little personal, isn't it, Mac
It
Daddy?
would fit in this.
Well, the new. I was just going to say the new C. Well, I'll tell you why it's a little personal. I'm sorry, Dan, but the new CPAPs are about the size of like a carton of cigarettes. They're tiny.
Yeah, but see, you gotta have your hose. You gotta have your electronic equipment to plug it in. You gotta have your they give me one. I really don't put water in it, but a reservoir for water because
Well, that'll fit right in
my
your
air pressure is pretty high.
carry-on.
It dries your nasal and throat out,
Yeah, it'll
and
fit in
I
a real
don't use
tiny
it.
camera bag.
Retro, you
Yeah,
leaving us?
retro.
Yep.
Bye,
That's
Retro.
all I'm saying.
Catch
All
you
right,
guys
man.
later.
Take care.
Dan, my only point was it's not even the size of a carton of cigarettes. The new ones, and they're so tiny, they'll fit in like a camera bag, hose and
Well,
everything.
no, your cord, your power cord, takes up. It depends on the type of power cord you have. I got one that doesn't take. My old one doesn't take up as much room as my new one. All right. My new one's a 2-part power cord. My old one's just one part, and it's maybe 3 foot long, and that's it. But then you also got your hose. Now my hose, I'm sorry, is not going to fit in the camera case.
When I said camera bag, not a camera case.
It won't fit in the camera bag by itself, not with everything else in there. You got about an inch diameter hose,
Yeah.
about
Well, it
5
depends on
foot
the hose and
long,
the mask and all.
and
Yeah,
then you got your mask that you got to wear with it.
yeah.
All right, so that
The mouth?
alone, yeah, you got to. I wear the nasal pill. Is what I use. I use the nasal pill.
Oh, the nasal one.
Yeah, I use the nasal, but still though, with what all until the camera, like I said, it could. If I had a smaller CPAP, I could do maybe half of this, maybe. It would all depend upon, like I said, the power cord and the hose, the air hose. The air hose takes up more room actually than the power cord.
Yeah, I was going to say the air hose anymore is bigger than the whole unit.
I had a very small CPAP that was no good. They recalled them. I had one that was smaller than what I got right now, and but they were recalled because they broke down easy. The VA recalled all of them. As a matter of fact, it was recalled by the I'm trying to remember who makes them. But anyway, they recalled it and they replaced them with these. They're still very quiet. And
You're going to have a heck of a time finding service for that in the Philippines.
no, you can buy them anywhere. CPAPs are anywhere. I would have to replace it, not get it serviced. You don't fix a CPAP. You just buy a new one.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
get a
just
new one,
saying in the
I've got a new
Philippines.
one every 5 years.
In the
They
Philippines,
don't even wait
they'll
for
have
it to
to-
break down after 5 years. Here's a new one. Now the VA is a little more less forthcoming with a new one, but your insurance company every 5 years, here's a new one. Because I used to have preferred care health insurance, and then
Yeah.
that'll change in the Philippines.
I don't know if there is, Tim, but most of them you get on these planes that Mac Daddy was talking about. They have places where you can plug it in. You just use the one you got. You don't have to get a special one. It will work. They're not cheap, but they're a lot cheaper than they used to be. But they're not cheap. But like I said, I've never paid for one. My insurance or the VA has given me all of my CPAPs. So, and they don't want to take them back. I got 3 CPAPs still. I've been given more than that, but I've still got 3. And one, I don't even know where it's at. I will never use it. It's big, bulky, and noisy compared to the others.
Oh, I know. My friend used to have one sounded like a hairdryer.
Yeah, but you
This
get used to
giant
it if
ear.
you use it every night. You do. You get used to the noise. But the one I use for travel, my one I had before this one that I still have, it's a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier, but it's a lot quieter than the first one I got. And I have it set up so if I got to go somewhere, I can just grab it and go. Everything I need is packed up already. My new one, I'd have to tear apart and redo it. And so I will do that when I have to, but right now I don't have to. So, but like if I last time that Dan had his live stream that Wednesday morning, Tuesday night for us. When I left, I took my travel, what I have packed for travel. I just grab it and go. Uh, Now, if I'm going to be gone long term, like when I went on vacation, I took my new one. But if I'm just going overnight somewhere, I got the one that's packed up. It's in my living room. I just grab it and walk out the door. I got a bag packed up. Very little stuff with like if I'm going to my friend's house, you don't she's Asian, so you don't wear shoes in the house. So I got house slippers in it. I got a shower kit. Uh, uh, she's a friend and not a girlfriend. A lot of times when she goes out of town, I'll go over and watch her mother, or if I'm staying overnight, her mom's home. If her mom's not home, I just go over feed her daughter's her bunny rabbit, and then I'll go over again in the morning and do it. Sometimes I'll stay overnight because if I have to work the next day, because it's so much easier to feed the bunny because they want the bunny fed at night and then in the morning. So it's so much easier to do it that night. Go to sleep, get up, and feed the rabbit just before I leave, first thing in the morning. But otherwise, if I'm off, I just go over feed, come back home, go over feed, come back home. I won't stay overnight.
I used to have a CPAP.
But like I said, I've known her for 35, 36 years, about 30, close to 36 years. We've been we ended up in the friend zone because she was dating somebody I knew back then. And, I'm old school. You don't ask out some guy's girlfriend that even if you don't like the asshole, which I did like. But I knew him, so I knew he was dating her. So, I'm not asking her out, no way. But we ended up becoming friends. And so by the time they broke up, we were already in the friend zone. So it was either stay friends or go my merry way. And I liked her enough as a person to stay friends with her.
Right.
And I know her whole family. Her dad I knew for about a year less than her. Now he's since passed away, but him and I got along great. We just lost back Daddy, and so I met her when she was working on her first master's, and yes, I said her first master's. Her dad was a visiting professor from China, and he understood English better than he spoke it. And he could write it. He could read and write English pretty good, but he didn't speak it very well. And she'd be in college, off taking a class or something. If I happened to be off, I'd go by, pick him up, and we'd go running around. Her dad and I would. And matter of fact, the first Christmas tree he ever saw was at my mom's house. I took her and her dad to my mom's for Christmas one year.
Mm-hmm.
And the Christmas tree wasn't even lit up, and he just thought it was so beautiful. And then when they lit it up he liked it even more. But like I said, I got to know the whole family, and we're good friends. And I only happen to live a couple miles from her, so if I can help her out when I can, I do. She helps me out whenever she can if I need help. Like if I had, let's say I had to have colonoscopy. You cannot drive yourself. You have to have a driver. She'd do it for me. You just have to pick a day where she's off.
I just had one of those here the other day.
I've had a couple of them. I'm not due now for a couple more years.
Yeah.
My last one it was a little over 2 years ago. Almost three.
I had mine last year.
That was your first one then? Or do you have a
Yes,
family
sir.
history of colon cancer?
No, it's because I had a health problem that they wanted to check me out. I was in the hospital here for 3 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. Yeah, if I do move to the Philippines, I will have my colonoscopy done more often than what they recommend here. I have a family history of colon cancer. My dad had it.
Yeah, my dad did too.
And I've had polyps removed from my colon.
Yep.
So I would do it more often than what they say 5-10 years, you know. I'd
Well,
probably do it every
Hey,
2 years.
I had mine
I'm
done right before moving over here.
I'm black and Asian, so I'm double screwed.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
But
I got to have
like
my next one next year, I think.
I said, I will do it more often than what the insurance recommend over here.
Well, yeah.
And
she-
hey, that's one of their
She found those 3
specialties here.
polyps in my colon that were non-cancerous. They said, all right, 5 years. If you're clear, then it'll be 10.
Yeah, they cut a couple of polyps off this here the other day.
I had 3 polyps removed on my first colonoscopy.
Well, the first one I had done was back in 2015, and they didn't give me enough medication to put me out. So I was
What the
thinking-
heck?
Yeah, I was
I
awake.
watched him do mine.
Hell no.
I was awake through the whole damn thing.
I was too.
Oh man.
Well, when the
I was. Hey,
when the
I
doctor
wasn't feeling pain, but I was awake.
when the doctor
And you know how they tell you not to drive after you get done because of the medication?
right.
I was thinking, man, this medication ain't that bad. And my oldest sister, because I lived close to her at the time, she's the one that took me there and took me home, and we went back to her house. And so I went upstairs to one of her spare bedrooms. I laid down and I was out to the next day because I got up the next day and said, "Yeah, I see why they say don't drive," because I was by the time I laid down, I was loopy. I would not have been able to drive.
I was completely fine.
No, like I said, they give you a medication. They tell you do not drive afterwards because it'll affect your motor skills.
Well,
Now, I had mine done in Buffalo, and I was living outside. I lived closer to Rochester, but they don't do the colonoscopies in Rochester. It's more of an outpatient thing. And at that time, it was a very small clinic in Rochester. And so, and the Batavia is a inpatient hospital or outpatient only. So, I mean, you have to be long-term to be in the hospital, or you're just there for a minor checkup in Batavia, which is the place I live closest to. And so I had to go clear over to Buffalo. My sister and my brother-in-law both took me over. And I had it done and then back home and I got something to eat and then went to upstairs to her both. She had a 4-bedroom home, 2 downstairs, 2 upstairs, 2 full baths. I went to one of the upstairs bedroom because the second bedroom downstairs they turned into a study, a den, or not a den, but a kind of like a home office.
It's my study.
But
yeah, when I had my procedure done, back in 2015, the nurse, she had a hard time getting the IV started.
well,
And I think that's because I was dehydrated because, when you're drinking all that prep, you're drinking like a gallon of that Go Lightly mix.
oh yeah,
And I was sitting there thinking, surely
crazy.
I'd be getting some fluids in my, in my system. But
Oh yeah, because that stuff they give you that flushes your system out.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
And you drink it. What was it? Every 15 or 20 minutes, something like
Right.
that. You had to drink it like an 8-ounce glass or 6-ounce glass, whatever size it was.
Right. Yeah. So I went in there, I was dehydrated and,
Oh, that'll dehydrate you.
yeah, the nurse, tried to start my IV and, took her.
And you're not allowed to eat anything red.
Right.
for what, a week before. I'm trying to remember.
It's not good.
It was about a week before you weren't allowed to have anything red.
Right. Red or orange.
But yeah, it was loads of fun.
Yeah,
And I'm being sarcastic.
the nurse gave me the first dose of medication, and I'm laying on my side, and I'm looking at the monitor. I'm like, okay, am I going to pass out here? Am I going to, go to sleep here eventually?
My first time I had the CPAP, I mean the colonoscopy, you went and bought a little bottle, just a small bottle. You drank half of it the night before,
Probably mag citrate.
and then you drank the other half the next morning,
Right.
or sometime. I mean, but you had to go the whatever it was, 24 hours or whatever it was on fasting.
Right.
To clean it, but it was just a small bottle. You had to go to the pharmacy, and they had it on the shelf. You didn't have to get a prescription for it.
Yes, it's mag citrate.
Yeah, but anyway, the second time is where they sent you the gallon jug and the mixture and told you how to mix it and how many cups to drink however often it was. That was my second colonoscopy. My first one was that little. Oh, that's not too bad. I'll drink that. I'll go and then I'll do the clean out your system the next morning, make sure it's completely cleaned out. That was a whole lot easier than drinking that water, let me tell you. I didn't feel near as bad drinking that little bottle. But, drinking that gallon, that was a...
that it wasn't too bad this time around drinking all that because, they had me start drinking it, at 3:00 in the afternoon the day before.
Yeah.
So I only had to drink half of it. But then they had
I'm
me
sitting here, Danny.
morning.
Danny, Larry, I've been sitting here. I want Danny to tell me what it was like to be awake during the procedure. That's what I'm waiting to hear.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Spit it out, Danny. Spit it out.
Well, what happened, like I said, the nurse, gave me the medication, and I'm laying there on my side. I'm looking at the monitor. I'm thinking, man, surely I'm
watching the tube go. Yeah, I did the same thing.
Surely I'm going to pass out here or fall asleep. And then the doctor, she starts to put the scope in my butt, and I'm like, and I start reaching back to grab her. I'm like, hey, now. And the doctor's like, yeah, he's not out. He needs some more medication.
I just laid there.
And I couldn't say anything. All I could do is just, I couldn't get any words out. And then the nurse gave me another round of whatever they gave me. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm gonna fall asleep here any minute now. And I'll be a son of a bitch, man. I'm sitting there staring up at the monitor the whole damn time. And
I can't say I looked the whole time, but I looked almost the whole time, if not the whole time. That was on my first one. On my second one, I looked at it a little bit and fell asleep. I didn't watch. I fell asleep during the second one.
Well, it was very uncomfortable, and they said after it's all done, they're like, yeah, we cut 2 polyps off, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I was like, I felt each one of them you cut,
I was uncomfortable. I was drugged enough.
No, thank you. I don't want to feel it.
And of
When I
course,
was in the hospital here,
And they pulled it out.
they're
Did you
like-
feel when they were extracting it?
I was praying that would happen. I was like,
The hell? Yeah, exactly.
please, in this nightmare,
Did it make a noise when it popped out? Does it go pop?
No, I don't think it made any noise, but as soon as they were done, of course, I fall asleep. I'm like, what the hell?
like when I had mine, I'm laying on my side. I'm looking at the monitor. They haven't stick nothing in yet, and it was like counting down from 10. I'm like 10, 9. I was out.
Yeah, I wish I could say that the first time. Yeah, and the second one I had done, I'll be damned if I did. I woke up in the middle of that sumbitch.
Like I said, I was awake to start, but I went to sleep.
I had like severe abdominal pain. I'm like, what the hell, And
I've had 3 done so far. The first one had 3 polyps. The second one I was clean. The third one they got a couple polyps. But every time it was
I
non-cancerous.
probably have had 3 myself. They say it's kind of rare for a man to want to have that done. Usually they'll set the appointments. This is what the nurse was telling me. She was saying that, hey, we're surprised. We were kind of betting against it you'd show up. I don't know why, right? Because she was telling me that gender has a lot to do with whether you actually follow through with the procedure or not.
Right.
Well,
Is that true, Danny? What's your experience on that, or do you have any with that?
I honestly, I don't have any experience, but
Yeah. So I mean,
I can understand. I mean, the only reason,
yeah,
I mean, I have a
they
family
don't like things
history.
shoved up there. I enjoy it kind of.
like I said, though, I'm going to do it because it's my family history.
Yeah, same
Richard
here.
Gere's got nothing on me. No.
I think next time Danny is gonna have good luck and not get any kind of anesthesia or anything, and just lay there and just feel it and watch it.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny. Go in there, be just joking around, just go in there and be like, you know what, I don't want any anesthesia because I really enjoy these.
No lube. Don't
Just
even
to see
spit up.
I don't even want to wrap around. Come on, let's get this done.
Just put it in the
That's
raw.
hella funny. That's hella funny. Hey guys, I gotta go. It was so much fun.
All right.
Well,
I
I'm
gotta
gonna
get
be
out of
ending
here.
it
I got
pretty
a
soon.
date with
Dan, thanks
Seaside
for
Mall.
coming.
So
You and Man Minnie go have
SM
fun.
Seaside. Oh yeah, Red Horse. I
Red Horse.
gotta.
Oh,
There you go.
I told you before, if I'm going to have a beer, I want Sam McGill. Painted label.
where are you at, Jack?
Bacolod City.
Bacolod.
Yeah.
Wow, nice. That's awesome, man. My girl and I, we were there last June, a year ago.
Oh.
What happened?
Oh, there I am. I don't know why I disappeared.
Well,
Did I make you mad, Larry?
I was going to punch on Dan because it looked like he was still there, or he dropped out and hadn't dropped out. All right, he dropped out of up here, but not down on my control panel. So I was going to put him back up. I thought maybe he accidentally dropped out. And when I did, I dropped you out because he disappeared on me. So that's what happened.
Yeah. Irene and I, we've been to Bacolod. Do you know Calvin Sunshine Shoulders?
Yeah, I know of it, but I've seen, I think, one of his videos, and that's it.
Yeah, he lives in St. Carlos.
He just moved to San Carlos, didn't he?
He's been there for several years.
Well, he just moved in. Somebody said that he was moving.
He
St. Carlos is the other side of the island.
Yeah, Siquijor.
I think he moved to Siquijor, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one because it's going on 11. I know you got to get to bed soon, there, Danny.
Yeah,
I need to get to bed here pretty soon because I got to get up at 5 in the morning, and our little laughter, and so I'm gonna have to get ready to go to bed. Believe me, Danny, I used to go till midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning when I had weekends off, but I don't have weekends off anymore.
Yeah, I work crazy hours. I figured.
Well, I volunteered for this. What I do is I work 2 8s and 2 12s, and I get every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. I was working Monday through Friday, 8-hour days with the weekends off. But as you know, if you need a doctor's appointment, a dental appointment, a government appointment of any kind, you have to take a day off.
Right.
Well, this way, I don't have to waste one of my vacation days to take care of something. Because the VA has me come in 3-4 times a year.
Yeah, they only have me come in once a year.
They have me. Well, I'm diabetic, so they have me come in more often.
All right.
And also, right now, because I'm on a new medication, the pharmacist wants to do, and I could do it video, but I don't like video. I just go in person and do it. Once I get this straightened out, I won't be seeing her anywhere near as much. But we'll see. But I don't mind going in. It's a half-hour drive from where I live to the VA in Albany. And as long as the weather's decent, I mean, I don't care if it's raining. I'm saying as long as no snow, in other words. It's a pleasant drive.
I'm jealous, Jack.
And
Drinking that Red Horse. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Mighty. What am I looking at?
Cigarettes.
Ah.
But I don't smoke. I quit smoking. It'll be it's actually been 24 years, a little over. Back in March was 24 years since I quit smoking. Now I smoked for 27 years, so I still haven't quit as long as I smoked.
Well, I miss those San Miguel's.
I've been smoking and drinking since I was 16.
I had my first.
I'm 42.
I started smoking on a semi-regular basis at 12. By 16 or 17, I was actually about 16. I was to almost a pack a day. Not quite. I was close to a pack a day on the days I went to school and worked. By the time I was 19 in the Navy, I was going through about a pack and a half to 2 packs a day.
Yeah, the only time I drink is when I'm over there in the Philippines.
Yeah. I haven't had a drink in a few years. I don't drink. I don't like to drink and drive. I got busted once, and it's like that's it, no more.
Same here.
And so there's no bar close enough to me to walk, and it's not worth going to a bar, getting drunk, and paying for an Uber or a taxi home.
Right.
I don't like to drink by myself.
Yeah,
I can do it. I just don't. If I was going to, it wouldn't be Red Horse or San McGill. It'd probably be rum and Coke. But it's just not something I do that much, and I used to all the time when I was in the service.
Yeah, I don't like doing it anymore here in the United States. I don't get much out of it, even with my.
Well, the only time I drink in the States is if I'm staying where I'm at and I'm with people that I know that drink. Like when I stayed at my youngest sister's, her and her husband drank, I would drink a couple beers with them. If I'm staying at my cousin George's house, I'll drink a couple beers with him. But that's about the only family members that I have that drink.
Yeah, I got alcohol in my fridge. It's been in there since 2018.
I had some beer in my refrigerator up in Leroy when I was living in Leroy, New York. And I had a case of beer in the refrigerator. And it got down to where I had been in there almost a year. And I just sat there and I had a few beers every day until I got rid of it. And I just never bought anything for the house after that.
Right.
Because I had to actually sit down and, well, I'm going to have a couple beers because pretty soon it's going to go bad. Let's get rid of it, drink it.
Well, I tell you, once I get to the Philippines, first thing, I'm going to get me some San Miguel or some Red Horse. Oh, yeah.
Like I said, with me, it would be San Miguel painted label because that's what I used to drink when I was there, when I was in the service.
I like the apple and the lemon flavored.
I've never had those. I just strictly the painted label.
Those give me heartburn.
Oh, really?
The sugar.
But
it's like
I love them.
Ladies drink.
Tim's dropped out, so it's pretty much just us guys. So, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and end it. I want to thank you for coming. If anybody's left in the chat, thank you for coming. Remember, everybody, be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Plus, as always, try to have fun. Take care, everybody. Bye.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
In this
Good one.
All right. Bye.
Peace.